Welcome to Balls and Brews, Pod 30. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Wish I was
Pod
still 30. Fuck.
All right, that's nice. Nice for the morning.
That is actually not bad. That's very good.
Space Goat.
Look at this cool can.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Big Sky Brewing out of Missoula, Montana. We sampled one of their other beers a couple of pods ago.
The brown?
No, we did not have Moose Drool, although that is a very good beer. It was the specialty.
It was the specialty, right? I can't remember
off
which
the top
one.
of my head.
Yeah.
But these guys always pour a good beer.
God, they are,
drinks
man.
at 5, so this morning, we flipped some time for this pod here because Trev's got the evening game, which as you can tell by his attire, he leans one way.
Yeah.
But we're starting out in the morning. It's about 10 a.m. Western time out here in Nevada, so
Morning game's kicking off.
yeah, right. It's pretty great. The Bills went on the road, or actually hosted that game technically, right, against the Jags.
We'll get into that shit later. I got a lot of gripe in there.
There's some foreshadowing there. But as far as the beer question ties into
What do you think about the beer, though? Not bad, right? Pretty easy drinking.
Oh,
It's 5%, but it's sometimes the pale ales are a little too much for me. You know, I don't
like
know.
IPAs, right?
I like some little bit.
Okay, so you're not. That's true. You're not really a hoppy guy.
Right. I'd rather have a hazy if I'm gonna have an IPA.
So you juicy. More
Yes.
so. Yeah.
But this pale ale is pretty good. It's a pretty good beer. I was definitely like it.
Solid mouthfeel. Good citrus for a pale.
That's what I thought too.
Kind of normally not what you expect. It's got a nice little pop to it.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, agreed on that front, Downey. I definitely enjoy this for
Breakfast beer approved.
breakfast beer approved.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. Since Trev said breakfast beer, what is your early morning beer situation if you have a beer early morning? Like if you wait, like what's your early morning beer situation if you drink beer early morning?
Hey, sometimes gotta have a beer in the morning, and I like something light, crisp, maybe a little fruity.
Excuse me.
And it doesn't have to be a particular brew. Like it could be different beers. But that's kind of what I look for if I'm going early.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty much only early on football season kind of thing. If, we have a 10 a.m.er, I'm just like, all right, well, we're drinking, so here we go. Like, if it's not football season, though, like, not really doing morning beers. But traditionally, I like to wake up with a bloody before I get into the beer routine. But if we are going beers, it's definitely, like, it's called a breakfast stout for a reason. It's kind of funny. I'd rather go, like, a little darker. Like, not on the heavy ABV.
Oatmeal stout or something?
Not barrel aged or anything that's like, going to punch you in the mouth, but something that's like 5-6% that's sweet, but still, like.
I think that's definitely the way to go if you're not going to eat for a while, too, because that could be a very filling beer.
Sure, yep.
So what I eat, like my breakfast, like, so if we're going out or we are out, no kids, wake up in the morning and go get breakfast for that long day of bar hopping and drinking, I like to do a coffee with like a Coors Light. Something like it's like a water, but a little bit of alcohol in it. But otherwise, I do like going like Trev's way, like a juicier beer. So I do understand the stout, but usually I'm eating like chicken fried steak at this point in time too.
That's a double up.
So
right there. Gotta be careful,
so I got my coffee, I got my chicken fried steak. I'm preparing for a long day of drinking. So that Coors Light's like my starting off. Or back in the day, we used to drink a lot of Blue Moon. Remember, we used to drink a lot of Blue Moon waking up. That one's not a bad one. I don't drink much Blue Moon anymore, but that Blue Moon was nice with the orange kind of flavor in the mornings.
I was going to say that beer we had on the last pod, that juicy one, that one would have been a perfect morning.
I had the fourth one of that. I split that with my pops earlier in the week during Thursday Night Football. And yeah, it was very good. It was all. I think it was better the second time. I don't know. Maybe because I knew what I was getting myself into this time, right? Like I knew what the mouthfeel was going to be, and I kind of adjusted to it. Cause that was a really good beer. Untitled Hearts, man. And then we sat there as a family and tried to figure out how to pronounce Wanaki. Wanaki, Wisconsin. Read it.
All right, so let's jump into, and I feel like we've said this almost every week lately. Another great week of college football, but guess what? it was another fucking great week. College
That
football.
Red
It
River
really was,
Rivalry
dude.
lived up to everything you wanted it to.
Yeah, let's just start right there, Chuck. Jump into it. OU beats Texas 34-30. Go for it. Any thoughts on it? Just
I think Glenn Ewers played a good game, but he had a couple of costly throws.
that first pick
Was bad.
Where in the fuck was that ball going? That's like the Quinn
The
Ewers-
crosser. Yes. He missed the crosser.
But
The
like-
safety just jumped it.
But that's that pick that we're talking about that we thought maybe he kind of
Wasn't going to throw.
and
Right.
then this game kind of showed that Ewers that we've been talking about the like I think since we started college football. Is he going to climb the hill and get over these mistakes? And yesterday kind of looked
Kind of showed up.
old Quinn Ewers-ish.
I mean, that's
Oklahoma has better defense than they've had since Lincoln.
They actually-
well, that's because Venables is the coach. And look
Yeah.
what Venables did it.
They
It's improved
Clemson.
quickly.
They had a pulse on defense.
But that game had everything you wanted. It
Sure.
had the turnovers we just touched on one of them. The fake punt.
Yeah.
The
A
going for
blocked
it.
punt.
Yeah.
A blocked punt.
Dude, right at the beginning of the game, I was like, dude, that's not
It
good.
was crazy. Yeah, the play calling was great. The fourth down attempts, there was it OU was 0 for 1, but Texas was 3 for 4. Dang, it was back and forth all the way that entire game. And Dylan Gabriel made a name for himself, man. That quarterback for Oklahoma. Man,
Yep. He's quite the
I
runner.
was gonna ask who is the quarterback for Oklahoma because I know they're
Well, he
they're a
didn't
top program.
and he didn't play last year. He was hurt for
That's
the game last
right.
year.
They got
So-
whacked.
and that's
last
why they
year.
got
Wasn't it
whacked.
like 42-0
And I
or
think that-
42-3 or something. It was
No,
bad.
it was like
It was bad.
I think that Venables got a rough name because he kind of came in and did the thing that Dion did, but it wasn't as like out loud. Like he came in and said, "Dude, I want guys that are going to be want to work my way or our way. We want to make it the Sooner way, you know." But he wants defensive, hardworking guys, and so I think the roster turnover was a lot last year. Obviously, Lincoln taking some dudes to SC. But he lost a lot of close games last year. I know the record wasn't good, but I think that and I knew this game was going to be sneaky because of how good OU's looked, but they didn't really play anybody. Now they beat number 3 Texas, and I think they're here.
big win. Gabriel is a senior
Massive.
quarterback.
Dude, massive.
Big loss, too, on Texas.
Agreed.
Yeah. Gabriel had 285 passing with a touchdown, 14 carries, 113 on the ground.
He's
He's more of a runner, so his draft stock's more of that.
You get real scared
fourth
with
round.
that. Yeah, you get
And
real
he's not
scared
a big
with that.
dude.
Oops, sorry.
He's not a big dude either. Like
Doesn't-
he's not like he's like Cam or
Or
Josh
Anthony
Allen,
Richardson.
or even fast like Lamar. You know,
Lamar was his last years in college and his first couple years in the league were just electric. He's still a good player, don't get me wrong, but
so then
Also,
yeah,
just
go for it.
the star of that game, though, Jail Farouk. 5
Yes.
receptions, 130 yards. He also does kick returns. He had 2 of those for
Yep.
37. That kid is a beast for
so
their
all over the place.
team.
Yeah, congratulations, OU and Venables getting a big win.
Dude, they haven't had a staple win like that in years, bro. Coming and like that's a big program win against your most bitter rival.
What a rivalry, man.
Yeah, because
A
they're
rivalry
both
game.
now they're both jumping to the SEC, correct? So
Correct.
they
Next
still
year.
maintain that.
Next
they
year,
still
so.
get the same conference. So I guess that but in a different way.
Next ranked game we talked about last week, LSU number 23 lost a couple games in a row, beats number 21 Mizzou. I did not write the score down on that one.
It's 49-39.
Yeah, there it is.
So it
High
was
scoring.
What
Dude.
a roller coaster that game was.
LSU no fucking defense. I mean, look at all their games this year.
Just enough
What
when it
happened?
mattered at the end of that game. They tightened the bolts just enough to slip past Mizzou, but they were getting blown out in the first half. They just absolutely
What
opened the
was
floodgates.
what was Jaden Daniels' numbers? in this
He
game?
had a
Great
great
game.
game on
Dude.
the ground too. He did 15 for 21 passing for 259, 3 touchdowns, 15 carries, 130 yards.
Dude,
and a
that's
touchdown.
last week. Same thing though. Dude, he is like their offense.
Which is terrifying.
If he
because-
doesn't do it,
right,
dude,
who's gonna?
right, and
Right.
defensively, another 30. That's 39 points by a Mizzou team that's good, but dude, you're giving up fucking 39. You gave up 50 last week.
The SEC defense is looking like the Big 12 defense this season.
Of the thousands, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it reminds me
Dude,
of. Where
it's-
you're basically expecting both teams to score almost every drive.
Alabama's probably has the best defense, but everybody else is. What happened?
Yeah, no, Ole Miss obviously they're more offensive.
They've
but I
never
think,
really been known
right,
for
and I
defense.
think when you're not getting, it's easier to have a better offense with lesser recruits than it is to have a good defense with less recruits. That makes sense.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't know if I inherently agree with it. Like, offenses can stagnate too, man. But like, defense is hard to play because it's reactionary. Offenses, you get to make the first move. Defenses, you have to respond to that.
And if you're not getting some of the top recruits,
if you don't have the guys at cornerback, at linebacker,
you're just not able to run with these dudes.
You're just gonna get blown by, and if your coverages aren't tight, like it can get ugly quick for sure.
So
the SEC.
First upset of the week, UCLA.
Yes.
Over number 13 Washington State. Trev, what do we got to score on that one?
Washington with 17, UCLA 25.
Another tight game defensively again.
Like that's what we've talked about the Pac-12 doing for
just
years.
Beating each other up.
I mean, UCLA was 22 just a couple weeks ago. Then they lost that rank
to Utah.
And now they're going to climb back in, I would assume. We'll see how far Washington State falls. I think they should still be ranked in the top 25 though, because that's how strong the Pac-12 is this season.
They have a win against Oregon State. Like they have a quality schedule still. It's pretty great. Pac-12. We've had our.
What numbers you got for that game, Trev? Anything nice?
Nah, nothing that really popped out on that game. That game was just kind of. It was more. It was good defense. Grind it out kind of game. I think UCLA's, I don't have the numbers in front of me. Their running back, I want to say, ran for $130 though. He had a good game on the ground.
Chip Kelly's been having, he's more pound the rock this year than trying to, open it up. Now, number 1, Georgia. Finally plays a ranked team and blows the fucking doors off.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's true. It was a slaughter from the first half.
51-13. Georgia finally looks like a team that should be ranked number 1 in the nation.
Bowers is putting up consecutive games back to back, just looking real good.
I think the last 3 games he's fucking been a monster in.
Yes, the last 3.
He's a top 10 pick.
Bowers?
Yeah. Could be.
I don't think after Pitts anybody's going to touch a tight end.
I think this kid's wave. They're talking about.
You got to get drafted to the right system with the right. It's got to be a direct fit. They got to want to make it work with this tight end because as we're watching this Atlanta game, Kyle Pitts is just not lived up to his 4th overall billing. He feels like a guy who should have gotten in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round kind of thing now.
Yeah, is that more on scheme or is that more?
I don't know if Arthur Smith doesn't know what the hell he's doing down there with tight ends. But
their other tight end, Junior Smith, had a good game.
He had a huge game a couple weeks ago.
He had one, yeah. So I mean, there's that.
Next big game we talked about give Notre Dame props coming into this week because they played so many ranked teams. Well, number 25 Louisville beats number 10 Notre Dame 33-20. Notre Dame's offense, man, again, we've talked about it, I think, the last 2 weeks. They put up 10 points in the first half, didn't do anything for a long-ass time, and then finally had a scramble, and they got another 10. But their offense just gets so stagnant.
Yeah, I actually had a quick chat with Pat earlier about this game just because the hype that Notre Dame got coming into the season. I mean, they usually get some with the brand, but getting their quarterback – or getting the Wake Forest quarterback, Hartman. And
he had a bad game.
Yeah, he wasn't great. And that defense, I think, got overrated a bit. And it's starting to catch up with them with that hard schedule. They're just, it's been rough. It's been a rough stretch, and they're having a hard time with it.
And Hartman has now kind of looked like that 3rd round
starting
player.
To fall back. And
he's not looked like that 1st round caliber quarterback that I thought he could be. He has started to really look 3rd roundish. He doesn't move real well, and lately he hasn't been great. I mean, he hasn't played great. Let's just put it that way. He's definitely not played great.
Yeah, 3 picks in that game.
Fuck.
Oh, he was getting pressure. It was constant pressure, man. That was a really not good game for the offensive line of Notre Dame.
Yeah. For Louisville, it was a little better. Their running back went off.
Oh, he was great. Number 25. Oh my goodness gracious, he was everywhere.
Jahar Jordan.
Get it, kid. 2
touchdowns. Yeah, had another 2 receptions too.
Probably made Lamar happy.
Yeah.
Dude, so the next 2 games we're going to talk about both upsets. One we didn't see coming. I didn't see coming. Georgia Tech beats number 17 Miami 23-20 on bad coaching. Bad coaching. That
From
loss,
Miami?
Yes, that loss is on the coach. It's on the kids too, but that loss is on. There's no way that Georgia Tech should have got the ball back at the end of that game. Thoughts, Trev?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Miami was in it, and then just a
Van
couple
Ginkel
mistakes
didn't
cost them
look that good either.
Van Dyke.
Van Dyke. Sorry. Yeah.
He did not.
He took a step back.
Dude,
last
so all of a
night
sudden
himself.
he again looks first round, and then now he's fallen all the way, in my opinion, back into like a third round quarterback.
I mean, once again, there's
So
a
early
decent
season
amount of
hype.
football left, and there's always the combine and the whispers and the blah blah blah. There's a lot of things that can still happen, but college is so crazy. One game can elevate you in front of the nation. One game can absolutely bury you and kill your stock. Okay, so if Caleb Williams has a bad game, Caleb Williams has had so many good games, one bad game isn't that big of a deal. When you're really trying to make a name for yourself in your junior, senior year kind of thing, and you're trying to put that all on wax, if you have that
Draft
one
wise,
bad game,
sure.
yeah, dude, it's a real tough,
because
pill
people
to
go
get
back
over.
and look at it, especially if you don't have a ton of starts.
Right. Except fucking Anthony Richardson went 4th overall just because of how athletic he
He's
was.
looked pretty good so far.
He's looked fair. He needs to not get his head beat in from running too goddamn much. So figure that out.
Completion
But-
percentages also needs work.
We'll get into that.
We'll get it. So another game, I told everybody last week, I said, check out this game, Wyoming versus Fresno State. It's going to be a great game. Guess what? It was a great game. And Wyoming pulled the upset, 24-19.
They're playing, dude. Whoever's up there coaching them's got them.
Mountain West has got... Dude, when you get Wyoming good, and you get Fresno State good, and you get San Diego State and Boise State good, I know Nevada sucks ass. But, dude, those are 4 pretty good schools. And those 3 of them, the Boise State, the San Diego State, and Fresno State, are always usually pretty good. So it's
They're
nice.
typically relevant.
It's nice to see. I kind of wish Fresno State would have won the game in Mountain West standing wise, so they keep moving up. But it is nice to see Wyoming playing good as well.
They have, and once again, that's a school that ain't ducking nobody. They opened up with Texas Tech.
And gave Texas a run, didn't they?
Yeah, they've played some fucking games, dude. So shout out to the Cowboys up there in Laramie. Dude.
Fuck yeah.
If you don't be ducking, that's the way to do it. Okay, for a team like that, a close loss is kind of a good thing. You can show them, that you can be competitive versus always having the same Middle America, ACC or AAC kind of conference, the NEAW or whatever the fuck all
talking about how
in the middle of the country.
Wyoming gets the dub over
The
one,
MEAC.
and then loses to another power like Texas.
Sure.
Well, Fresno State gets the dub over Arizona State, and who else did they beat? They beat another big school and got paid basically $2.4
Purdue, wasn't it?
Yeah, Purdue paid $2.4 million
To go up and get some dubs.
to go get 2 dubs against other people.
So
fuck
put
yeah,
school
Fresno.
out there
Good
for
job.
sure. Don't be
Cheers to that.
ducking.
Yeah.
Don't be ducking. It's impressive.
3 other teams that had close games. Bama had a fucking tight one. They don't really look good.
They don't. I
but
mean,
they are sitting atop of that West now.
Sure, and especially with the weakness that the SEC has kind of shown, it's there for Alabama to seize control again.
Dude, it is. And they don't look good.
Because
I think we've
their
talked about
loss was
almost
out of
every
conference. They could roll the SEC with that defense. If they only gave up 17 points a game, they should be able to win the rest of their season,
And I
right?
think we've kind of talked about it each week of how they kind of don't look good.
Their offense is so uncertain. So
is.
uncertain.
That offensive line struggles.
You don't know. They don't look like they know what the hell they're doing out there. It is a clear regression from the days of guys like Julio Jones and Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley and Najee Harris, and they just had insane talent everywhere.
Well, throwing out some of those
Derrick Henry.
receivers, the receiver popped this week. Jermaine Burton, 9 receptions,
That's right, he did.
197
He did,
yards,
yeah.
2 touchdowns, which is
That's a game.
more than he's had in his combined games leading up to
Season
now.
Have yourself a game, kid.
What other close games do you want to talk about?
Ohio State is super close through 3
Started
quarters.
up, yeah. Maryland folded like a lawn
Maryland
chair.
was up 10-0, going down, and Tagovailoa throws a pick for a pick 6. I think that changed the whole game. I think Maryland ends up scoring there, maybe takes a little bit more air out. Instead, you get a pick 6, and it just totally throws a momentum back to Ohio State.
Even if you snag 3 and just cap off the drive with points, it keeps the game in a very neutral position.
Correct.
At least,
And
right?
you pick 6 just totally
yeah.
takes the momentum. And then, Maryland got up at 17-10 and kind of was there a little bit. And then Ohio State scored and tied it. And then after that, Ohio State just kind of took control of the game about mid-3rd quarter into the 4th.
So there was couple more close games this week too.
Yeah, we can mention USC sneaking by fucking Arizona in a 3 overtime game.
Man.
Arizona gave Washington a game and giving USC a game, so props to Arizona playing tough.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams had it was a rough start to that game.
Rough start.
Trojans were down 17 in the second
I
quarter.
I didn't watch any of the. Did you guys come back? Did you guys? Okay, what was the final?
43-41 in triple overtime.
Triple OT.
And okay, talk about triple
To be
overtime.
fair, Arizona also gave Washington a fit the week
That's
before.
what
We
I
only
just
beat
said.
them
If
by
you
a
would have
tie.
been listening.
I'm sorry. I guess I was not. Even though you guys are, your voices are in my head as we speak.
But yeah, God, what was I gonna say about that game? That's Caleb Williams he only passed for 219 and touchdown, 12 carries, 41 yards, but 3 touchdowns on the ground. He was having to resort to running it, and he was kind of strong arming in the defense because they were playing a lot of like 7 defensive backs to really slow down that passing game. And USC's defense is just like putrid. It's
so bad.
I was really hoping that it would improve as the weeks went on, but there's a couple nice pieces, but it's bad overall.
The defensive line's okay, but they can't. They need. There's no back end help, and the tackling on the back end is fucking dismal.
I'm starting to question just Lincoln Riley's judgment defensive
On
coordinator.
defense entirely.
Yeah,
his whole defensive mindset. That's that Big 12 coming over. Like offense first. Like he runs a hell of an offense. Don't get me wrong.
You got to change the
electric
defensive.
on offense.
You got to change the defensive coordinator though.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think your offensive play calls last week were kind of not this week, but last week you could have ran the ball more. You kind of let Colorado be able to get back in the game by throwing the ball and still running a fast-paced offense when you should have slowed it down and went to more of a run game. You can still throw the ball, but you should have been taking snaps with 14 seconds on the clock. You should have been taking snaps with 4 seconds.
Yeah, letting other teams stay in the game. They had a high snap before OT to miss a chip shot field goal.
Okay. Ouch.
And then in OT, in the second OT, I guess, when they had to start going for 2,
right?
Arizona had already missed theirs.
Okay.
And USC went down and must have been 3rd down. Or no, I'm sorry, for the 2-point conversion after they scored.
Right, so they did score, right.
Rice, he drops it. He had a
Kept it
shot
tied,
at it. He
kept it
probably
tied
should have caught
instead.
it.
Yeah,
He's
instead
usually
of
more
ending the
short-handed than
Yes.
that.
I'm sure Daddy had something to say about it.
Man, their quarterback though. I gotta mention Arizona's quarterback. It's his second start. He's a freshman.
Okay, give it to us.
303 yards with 5 touchdowns. He did throw 1 pick, but he went off.
Freshman
went off.
Give me some of that. Sprinkle. That's nasty, dude.
USC's defense is fucking pathetic.
I mean, it doesn't look good.
And also 4 of those touchdowns to
one guy,
or one receiver.
Nice.
Yeah, Jacob Cowling, 10 receptions, 87 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Any other close games you want to touch on, Trev, or is that it on the?
So just some other close scores, real quick. Or actually, before we get to that, the overtime I wanted to touch on because I had forgotten that in triple overtime you're just going for 2 points.
It's just 2-point conversions.
I had forgotten that. I hadn't seen it in a while.
Absolutely.
And man, that was like, what is
such
going on here?
College overtime is so great. It's so
I enjoy
good.
it.
I do too, man.
It's a little heart-wrenching, for when it's your team in it, but
Oh my god,
damn.
dude! Yeah, you get tight butthole, bro.
Yeah, I
Like,
got
you're
that
just
really
like,
booty.
oh fuck. But it's always nice to know that it's not gonna end instantly, like traditionally, unless like obviously you're on defense, you've already scored, and then you get like a turnover, then it's over. But like you always get a chance to possess the ball, which is pretty sweet.
But other tight scores we had, let's see, there was. Just lost it. Oh, Colorado beat Arizona State by a field goal, 27-24.
They needed a win after the last 2 shellackings.
Ole Miss pulls out a 27-20 victory against Arkansas.
That was quite a good game. I watched the majority of that as well.
Oregon State
Jackson
52
Dart
against Cal 40. That was a high
92
score,
total
man.
points, dude. Yeah,
No
hopefully they
defense
took the
there.
over on that one.
Uh,
Cal's not good though. That's
haven't been good in a
unfortunately
while.
a bad program.
They haven't been good in a while.
Yeah.
Also, since we're in college football, for North Carolina, they beat Syracuse 40-7. It wasn't a game, but
I saw
Hez Walker got eligibility back, and he got to play for the first time this season. 6 receptions, 43 yards, not a bad.
I saw some throws by Drake May.
But he's supposed to be like one of their most dynamic wide receiver. So getting him with Drake could be really good, especially since Drake went off that game too. He passed for 442 and 3 touchdowns.
Some of those throws were fucking like when he's a pocket thrower. He can move okay, but when he has time, dude, he's gonna fucking pinpoint it.
He did it on the ground that game though too. 14 carries, 55 yards, and another touchdown.
So not a lot of yards per average, but probably just
off.
did it when you had to.
Yep,
right?
still taking off, getting first downs.
Right, better than getting 11 sacks.
Correct. Dude, that is fucking. We'll talk about that. Any other college you want to touch on, T-Mon?
Well, I think the last thing. Well, let's see. Let me double check real quick.
We're looking at the notes.
Got the notes.
While we're watching the games.
Maybe just that the Utah football players get those free trucks.
Wait, what happened with you? Wait, Utah got free trucks for what?
The Utah football players all get free
they
trucks.
looked like
it's part
trash
of
the last time, yeah.
What? Oh, Utah.
Yeah, the Utes looked terrible.
The
last time
offense
they were
has
on the
been
field.
bad this season.
Real
Like
bad.
Cam Rising should be coming back.
Okay, so they got free trucks for what? Just from the Utah
For
Trust
being
for
Utah
being football players?
That's
NIL.
fantastic. Yeah, NIL, baby.
Whoop. All right, man.
Let's jump into some quick NFL notes before we get into baseball. This trade is fucking weird. Okay, so more information has come out. J.C. Jackson been refusing to go in games. Big signing for the Chargers a couple years ago in free agency. Thought
It should have been a perfect match. It should have made a lot of sense.
Refusing to go in games doesn't sound very good. He was traded to the Pats along with a 2025 7th round pick for a 2025 6th round pick. And the Chargers are paying 7.7
Yeah, no,
this
they
year,
were desperate to get him off the team.
and the Pats are only paying 1. No.
Desperate to get him off the
What
team.
happened there?
Just him and the coach didn't like each other. The position
It's the
coach
same shit
he
that
was
always
refusing
happens
to go
to
in-
those New England boys.
refusing to go into play.
They ball under the tutelage of Belichick and that defense, and they play good schematically, and then they travel off into what should be their big opportunity at different teams, and they flounder. And then 9 times out of 10, they come back to New England and play pretty well.
And the reason New England needed him is rookie
Just like the coach.
Christian Gonzalez.
How hurt is he?
Done for the season.
Oh,
Tore his
he is?
labrum. Was having a really good start of the season too.
I did not
Was
know that's
looking-
unfortunate.
Was looking like a lockdown corner.
You
was
never
playing
want
solid.
to see that, especially so early.
So just a weird trade. Chargers just didn't want him. Got rid of him for nothing on the dollar.
It's not that
He
the
is still
Chargers
paying
didn't
for him.
want him. I don't think it's that the Chargers didn't want him. It's that the relationship had been
Well,
he's not.
They wanted him off the team. It
They
sounded
had
pretty
to.
toxic.
At that point, it's
Yeah.
addition by subtraction. Like
Yeah.
you have to swallow that one, dude.
Pretty
You have
toxic,
squandered
yeah.
that. Yeah, bad for both sides. So.
Another toxic relationship. Randy Gregory and the Broncos.
Oh,
He
dude.
requests a trade. Gets traded to the fucking Niners.
Yeah, after they had
Didn't you have
put
him
out.
for a while?
No, he was Cowboys.
He was a
I
Cowboys. and
remember
was
that. Yeah,
excelling.
but I could have sworn he was one of those that did the flip flop.
No, he was excelling with the Cowboys. Traded with the Niners along with a 7th round pick in 2024 for a 6th round pick.
They
The
were
Broncos
just-
are still paying him $10 million, and the Niners are only paying him the league minimum. For
Yeah,
that
so I
trade.
mean,
The Niners got another pass rusher for fucking nothing. He'll probably shell out for the Niners.
So I don't because
Low
I
risk,
guess
high
I
reward.
guess they just moved on before it became too big of an issue. They just
They were
kinda
gonna
saw it
release-
and
they were
They
gonna
were gonna-
release him.
It was put out before they traded him that he was going to be cut, so that the Niners just gave him
a 6th round pick.
six-
throw a
pick
dart.
to get
Throw a
that.
dart.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why
yeah.
not?
Make sure he doesn't get to waivers.
Yeah, dude, two weird trades. Both of these players, along with Chandler Jones, the Raiders release, were part of that big offseason 2 years ago where it was like trying to stop Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Went out and got edge rushers. Went out and got corners, and all
And
3 big
it's
signings
failed.
done, gone.
Weird. It's so funny how the league works like that, man.
Patrick
And
Mahomes
then-
effect.
God,
Patrick
he's
Mahomes
good.
effect, dude.
God, he's good.
And then Jonathan Taylor, boys.
Hey, that's
Getting an
big
extension,
news.
3
Yes.
years, 42
He's-
mil,
Ooh.
two
Is he
26
playing
point.
today?
It's supposed to. 26.5 guaranteed. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to be an Ezekiel Elliott signing, but We'll see what happens, but good for JT getting that contract.
So it works out to $14 million, pretty much annual. That's high end market. We'll see.
He's got to stay healthy.
That's any position, but
and he can't. We'll see if he goes Zeke, where he all of a sudden
CMC's making 16, right?
Yeah, but he fucking catches the ball in the backfield and is
I'd pay
MVP,
him 40 if I had to, dude. If I had the opportunity to Christian McCaffrey, that would, come on.
I think Taylor could ball though. Like the way the team's playing, I think that could inspire him. He just got paid. He's got to feel good about that. That relationship
field at the same time.
Hopefully they can get that read. But it's about finding that read option.
Yes,
100%. But you don't think between those two guys they can't run that?
Yeah, it might have a couple
dude.
rough games to start, but if that turns into something, that could be real.
And we've seen Michael Pittman, the emergence of Michael Pittman.
He's been playing well this year. Absolutely.
They have Josh Downs from North Carolina, who's had a growth so far stuff, and they still have the kid from Cincy, Alex Pierce. So they still have like a nice set of weapons to use. So that team, we had them picked kind of low. I think I had them at like 6 wins. You guys had them, I think, at 4. So we'll see but they could be surprising. Any other news, NFL news that we need to touch on contract-wise?
I think that nails a lot of the headlines outside of the games themselves.
Okay, so let's jump into one of my favorite times of the year. MLB playoffs. First round. Okay, so I saw an article about how baseball's fucked up, expanded playoffs because the wild card was all sweeps. I think that is awful. That article is bullshit. Those games were fascinating. There was comebacks. I don't agree with the article at all.
No, because the value of the MLB playoffs is not watered down at all by the expansion. You still get good playoffs. All those games were close. All those games were competitive. Yes, it was a sweep, but a 3-game series. They did just the play-in game for the first little bit of the expansion.
Right, and now it's at least a 3-game series.
So no, whoever's poo-pooing that is completely wrong because and also baseball gets on with it. They play. A series is a weekend, bro. Let's go. Like, you get to the World Series so quick. Like, it's all about momentum. That team that gets hot. Like, the MLB playoffs is phenomenal.
You're gonna just love it when you have those long game series, but it's one after another as far as games go.
Because you don't have time to think about the previous night.
So the wild card is set up to where you get 3-game series, but you don't move. The home team gets all 3 games.
Why would you move? There's no way you shouldn't.
In the AL, the Texas Rangers, Minnesota Twins move on. I was rooting for the Jays. I do like the Rangers moving on. I don't hate the Rangers even though they play in the West. There's some guys on that team that I do like. I know, Chuck, you hate them. I don't hate as many teams as Chuck. I hate other teams.
Oh, I'm a hater, you guys.
Everybody
knows this about me.
But I hate other teams.
I have to bring the wheelbarrow. Sometimes you guys are too nice.
In the NL, the Phillies and the D-backs move on. Dude, Philadelphia was fucking rocking for those MLB games. Dude, did you guys check those out? Dude, that house was fucking rocking. Good job, Phillies fans showing up.
Because they won it, dude. They won it. They were so close
and
to
the D-backs,
last year.
Dude, go D-backs. Fucking stepping up and fucking, you fell out of the playoff race, got back in. A lot of young guys on that team. Good job. So let's jump into what happened yesterday. First round of division.
Okay.
Rangers 3, O's 2. Great game. I was flipping back, dude. That game was on. That game was on at the same time as Texas and OU and Maryland. I was watching all 3 games while cleaning my carpets. Cleaning the carpets, watching the games, dude. Cleaning carpets, watching games. Other game which we're all not gonna like. Astros over the Twins. Dude, I want the Twins. I wanted the Rangers to play the Astros and the Twins to play the O's because I think the Rangers will be able to beat the Astros and then the Astros can't move on. Because the closer they get, the more I'm going to get irritated. Because that is a team I fucking hate.
Somebody beat the
Astros. Also, what do you guys think about how the MLB playoff bracket was kind of set to where you get not necessarily the low seed plays the high seed. It's kind of a set thing. Don't you think that the low seed should play the high seed?
There's no reseeding, is what you're saying.
Right, like how we're gonna get into
it's just a tree, and you just go down it. This team wins. This team loses. Yeah, right. No, I get you.
Do you like it, or would you rather have the?
No, I want to see reseeding.
That's what I want to because as we talk about the NL, you get the number 6 Diamondbacks should be technically playing the number 1 Braves.
100%.
Technically, But the way that the bracket was set, now they're playing the Dodgers.
It's the same way actually that the NBA goes. They don't reseed either.
Right, and I think it should
I don't
be
like
reseeded.
that. I 100% think reseeding it. You're
You
the
don't
1
get-
seed for a reason.
Correct.
You're the 2 seed for a reason.
We can't
You're
cheers
the
on
3
beers
seed.
because we're all empty, so we gotta go nuts.
Yeah, and definitely that getting that
That's the
first
whole
that top
advantage.
seed.
That's the whole advantage
Why
of
be
having
number
the
one?
better number next to your name.
Okay,
it should
so
be reseeded.
We're all with you.
So Phillies get the 3-0 victory over the Braves, which,
Braves.
dude, I picked the
Out.
Phils, but dude, I'm fucking...
I
got so much love for the Braves. I think we've talked about how they built that team.
Yeah.
Matt
Oh,
Olson
yeah.
and Sean Murphy are 2 old A's, but I love them both. But they really have Murphy, Olson, Acuna, Albies, Riley, all
They're there,
signed
dude.
up
They're
forever.
there. Yeah.
So that team it's the way to build a baseball team. But they lost game one.
don't. So they lost opening
Game one,
right?
But it's still a 5-game series.
Right. But you cannot miss this opportunity.
No, we
man.
gotta go,
You can't
Braves.
you can't take it for advantage, right? Because this whole concept that like, well, we have a good team, we should be back every year, doesn't necessarily
Correct.
translate.
An
all the
injury
time.
away.
Anything
Olsen could
can-
get hurt.
100%.
Albies, something. But I was worried about this going in because the Phillies pitching staff is fucking legit. When you get 2 great starters with Wheeler and Nola, dude, you sometimes can bowl your way through the playoffs. So, and then the other game, D-backs fucking 11-2 over the Dodgers. Kershaw only had
He threw a third of an inning.
a third of an inning. 6
A
runs.
third of an inning.
Which Dodgers are another team I can't fucking stand.
That's a maniacal laugh.
It'd
Right
be so
there.
sweet for the D-backs to definitely get past this
That's
fucking
good
series.
Dodgers.
I think we all hate the Astros and all hate the D-backs, or all hate the Astros
Every
and
update
Dodgers.
I've gotten on fantasy today has been bad so far, so I'm nervous when I see that little Yahoo pop up on my phone.
I know. Just don't look at it. We're going to take a break, refill the brewskis, come back with a second beer question today. And we're going to have a different second segment. Since none of the games are finished, we're going to give some score updates, but then we're going to give a quick analysis of what we think of the team so far
Quarter
through
of the way
year.
through, for sure.
Yeah. Every team will give a little pop on.
And then Mr. Money's going to give a nice breakdown of this Sunday night we got tonight.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a hot one. Probably one of the better games of the week.
It's one of the better games of the season so
Correct,
far.
100%. Well, we hope it is. We hope it
Cowboys
is.
Niners, just billing
Correct.
wise. Rivalry, there's juice to it. It's Sunday night. Like, these teams are both hot outside of the loss to the
I
Cardinals.
might go hit it up another donut, dude. We had some Doughboy donuts this morning.
Shout out to your local Doughboys, dude.
Good donuts.
They really good donuts.
Not no Krispy Kreme type fucking sweet shit. We got some puffy motherfuckers.
Oh, dude, they have nice consistency
Yes,
for
yes.
sure.
All right, so we'll see you in a little bit.
We're gonna need some more beers.
Yeah.
All right.
More forward.
Welcome back to Balls and Brews. Check out this dark beer, motherfuckers.
Oh,
It smells
man,
good.
It does.
It smells really good. Tastes good. Different than the ones I was expecting. Yeah.
It's well balanced. I was hoping for a little bit better mouthfeel. It's not as creamy as I was hoping
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Definitely not as creamy. But
Flavor's
do
there. Got a
you
little
think that's
sweet on the
because
back
it's
end.
not necessarily a nitro that you don't get that cream, and there's no milk, right?
No, yeah, there is no lactose or anything.
So that's
This is-
why
this is more of a traditional stout. You're right.
I
so.
think you get. It says with a touch of cinnamon, you get a great smell of cinnamon. Do you guys get a ton of cinnamony taste?
I do. Sure.
I do.
Up
I do a
front.
little up
Not
front,
so
yeah.
much on the linger, but up front.
Oh, sorry. Here's what it's cool.
Elysian Darko the Moon.
It's a cool can or bottle. Sorry, a little werewolf on it, like that.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Sorry.
So Elysians, shout out Seattle. Whoop whoop. That's where they started brewing originally. They're also in Portland. So Northwest beer. Drinks at a 7.5. As Zach has already touched on some of the flavors, cinnamon is definitely there. It's a stout, so it's funny that there's still, to me, that roasty.
Yes,
You get
roasty,
that
yes.
roasty kind of coffee-esque on
Yep.
the back end. I definitely...
Sorry,
Sorry.
hitting the table.
I'm starving the table.
Yeah, I think it's delish. It's got a good. I love the smell. Like I said earlier, if you get a good whiff, you get a nice.
I would say the only thing that I'm a little let down by is that it didn't carry the head very long. Like the mouthfeel is a little shy.
Yeah, if there's one area that's definitely
Flavor's
where it's
good.
lacking, everything else I think is pretty
7.5
solid.
though. It's a drinker.
Have
It's
we
a
had
drinker.
another Elysian beer on?
Did we do
pod?
Space Dust?
Yes,
I
we
think
did.
we might have
So we
done
did.
Space Dust.
I think we would have.
Yeah,
Could've.
that's their IPA.
It's
Yeah.
their flagship.
Yeah.
So we have another beer question. We were talking about Do you guys like the ready to drink? The
Well,
RTDs?
yeah, they're essentially like taking over a section of the market, pretty fucking big.
I am.
Like,
I'm gonna say it right now, I'm not a fan. I think they're way too syrupy in every fashion. Obviously, my made to drink alcoholic beverage is probably gonna have a little bit more whiskey than anything else in it, and it seems like when you get them, the ready to drinks, there are a lot of syrup.
I'm with you. I mean, it's a great idea. There's a lot of cocktails I'd like to have just like that, make it real quick, but the mixture always seems to be a little off. I haven't had one of those that I was like, oh, this is just how I would make it, or this is what I usually get when I go out and get a cocktail. There's always something different.
is it because it's massively produced and it's
I think that they kind of watch. We're probably all pouring more of a double shot of something.
Oh no, yeah, sure, that's fine. I'm not talking.
But also the syrup. I think the syrup to the syrup to alcohol ratio is somehow like off because everyone seems very, very syrupy. Yeah, I don't know why, and I just feel like everyone seems very syrupy and very sweet.
Yeah, there's always an ingredient, usually the syrup, that's just, it's either too much or, yeah, usually there's a too much of something that shouldn't be as strong. And it's usually
right. It's one of the subtle notes is too aggressive kind of thing, and there's nothing you can do about it because that's how it's served. Yeah, I would agree with the assessments of those. They also are far too expensive for what they bring to the table more often than not. You're paying like sometimes $16 to $20 for a 4 to 6 pack of these kinds of things. Like, I guess the convenience factor is probably the highest selling point, and traditionally they pack them with a higher amount of alcohol, 8, 10, 12%-ish kind of thing.
I have had some of the higher alcohol ones that definitely you could taste them.
Yeah, but that's also the thing when you get into that area.
It's more malty beverage than
mucky, it's not natural.
Yes, it's more malty beverage than if you get like a whiskey water, a 7-7.
But I don't think they're going anywhere. I think that they're going to be a mainstay moving forward. Kids don't have to pay their dues anymore.
Well, I don't think that people necessarily also don't drink like the people that we hang out with.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So here, I need to make a comment real quick.
Hey, I try. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, people don't have to suffer through the shitty beer anymore. They can go right to the foo-foo drinks. Like back, when you had low access to alcohol, you'd have to drink Natty Light and Keystone.
We were having to drink our
fucking Ice House was the good beer. Fucking Red Dog.
We were drinking Sparks were like our foo-foo drink. If you had
and that was back when you could put caffeine in. Caffeine and booze. That was before that became illegal. Those Sparks were dangerous.
Throw up one of those bad boys.
Oh, they'd have drink it again. Oh my god.
Never drink it again.
These mixers though, they get me because I always like, well, they're making so much of these now. Eventually, they're gonna have a good one, right?
No, I
don't even try them anymore.
I tried the Monster new
not good.
Beast. It was not good. Overly syrupy,
Yes.
And I love energy drinks. I'll put that on record. I love traditional Monster. It is so good. Like, that's why I was stoked to see it, and didn't hit on the right accord. Didn't do what I was hoping for in the slightest. Yeah.
We tried. We got a mix pack of them and tried. I think it's green, white. There's 4 colors: green, white, and then 2 other colors. Red was one of them, and then there was one more color.
Richardson is heading to the locker room with an apparent shoulder injury.
No good. Milano went to the locker room with a knee injury earlier too. Not great on them. Chuck, why don't we start off segment 2 with your team, Monday Night Football?
That's true, because I guess we're going to dip back into the end of week 4.
Yeah, we didn't get to touch on that. Sure. I think it's a big talking point.
So whoop whoop to that. We started off slow as we traditionally do. Offense still didn't look wonderful. Looked good, but not great. Our defense was obviously the tail of the story there. That's the main headline. Yeah,
Witherspoon, man.
Yeah, dude, coming out party. Oh man, he was everywhere. He read Daniel Jones. He smacked him a couple of times.
2 sacks.
The unfortunate thing, Jamal Adams lasted 9 plays before getting a knee to the head. Like some would say that's bad luck, but don't drop your head when you tackle. That's your own fault, Jamal.
Well, they said that he might get in trouble too for the way he
yelling at the neurosurgeon. He should. good.
Go to
She
the
should get
doctor.
fined. Should absolutely get fined. I don't know about a suspension necessarily.
No, but they said a fine.
Absolutely. He was absolutely like they're looking out for your. They can't let you back on the field, man. They don't need any more bad press. It sucks. Get right. We luckily went into our bye, so right now you got 2 weeks to come back from your concussion. If your body feels good, get your head right, get back into the game. It's fine. It does suck, and it was deflating, especially because he made a big play like 2 plays before that. He made a good read on the flat and smacked the running back. Just like you look like old Jamal. So still, come on, dude. It's okay. We're gonna be back. We can get better from this. But overall, the story of the night was the 11 sacks and
that's, I think, what the biggest
terrible offensive line play and coaching by New York.
Can we touch on this? So I'm going to give you a quick I told you so that Daniel Jones shouldn't
Was not the dude. Is not
but
the dude.
That
Has
game,
never been the dude.
That game wasn't necessarily some of that, yes, his fault. The pick in the end zone, his fault. That which would have made it a fucking game. They get that touchdown there. That makes it
anything 3 even.
But getting sacked 11 times is that's on your offensive line. That's also on coaching. Why the fuck wasn't he taking 3-step drops? Why was he not catching, turning, and getting rid of the ball?
Yeah.
Holding the ball. Is that on him? Is that on coaching? I guess we'd actually have to watch the tape. But if that's on Dayball, that's on Dayball not getting better play calls in, getting the ball out of his hands. I know Barkley wasn't in, but you got to do something. Your quarterback just got sacked 11 times and probably got
Once
hit
you see it go
15 to
4 to
16.
5 times, how are you not making critical adjustments, timing adjustments, shortening the plays? No, you have to. At this point, they've proven that they've busted down your game plan already.
Correct.
You cannot continue to try the same thing.
I know your best offensive lineman, Andrew Thomas, was out, and he's a stud. But dude, you have to either start chipping.
We were on our second and third stringers
Right.
all over the place too.
You got to start chipping. You got to start helping out, and you got to do something to help your quarterback out and call better fucking plays.
Real quick, last little side note on obviously Witherspoon bald, the unfortunate Jamal Adams. The crazy thing was Gino actually got a little banged up in this game too. It was his knee, and he sat out a drive. And Drew Lock came in and led a great drive, threw a 52-yard pass to Noah Fant, who broke a couple of tackles up the sideline. And then Kenny capped it off with a score. So Drew Lock came in and got a 7. Like, shout out, Mr. Lock. That is not easy to do. That you come in cold and then lead a drive.
I do think a thing where you're going to take away from this game, since we don't get to talk about the Seahawks going forward, they're on
bye week, baby.
One good thing I think on the Seahawks is it does look like part of the defense has been fixed. But I think my one negative of the Seahawks is it looks like the offense is taking a very step back regression-wise.
Sure
running game
themselves.
has looked good with Charbonnet and Kenny, but I think passing game has been probably mostly like lackluster. It's not been good.
I would agree with that. It's not been bad. It just hasn't been great.
Right.
We were expecting with the addition of JSN for that team to really be able to build a triple that could compete with Cincy.
But offensively, it is definitely
little stagnant.
Very lackluster at the. So
Come on,
that'd
JSN.
That'd be my one. We'll hit the Giants a little bit on, but Trev, what are your 2 points on the Hawks, real quick?
I'm just gonna cap on what you were saying. The skill positions, they're great. They got tons of tight ends and receivers and running backs. The offensive line in Gino has been this slow offensive start for Seattle this far into the season. So I know they had the injuries on the offensive line. That's probably has something to do with it. So if they get back healthy and Gino can look like he did last season, then they're definitely a competitor.
I'm going to say it's comparable kind of to the Eagles in the sense that, like, there's something off on that Philly offense.
Well, I definitely want to touch on that. But I think
they have just something. Like, if they can start clicking, good Lord, dude, they can run over anybody. Like,
I think the Philly offense is a little bit easier to figure out what may be happening. I think your guys is maybe a little bit more worrisome to me because nothing has changed from.
Stroud's only thrown for $104 yards in going into the third quarter. They've done a good job.
Yeah, so let's move on to Thursday night's score there. Charlie?
Jesus Christ, dude, that was 40-20. That was a double up from Chicago over Washington. Justin Fields had another amazing game. Lit it up on both with his legs and with his arm again. 4 tutties. DJ Moore absolutely tore the roof off.
I think some of those balls though were, if those don't, like the couple of the DJ kind of out jumped the guys. I think if those don't go that way, I mean, he got lucky. Those are
The Lions are crushing right now.
I know. I told you we should take that.
Well, yeah, no, fuck New England. We ain't better than
but yeah, I think that Fields had a better game, but he did some of those balls. He's still getting lucky. If those go the other way, DJ doesn't get those because there were 2 jump balls that DJ got. That if he doesn't get them, he gets them right. But
then I was gonna say, no, you don't get to think about it in a negative sense.
And then
it was design play.
I thought Sam Howell actually looked not bad. I think that offensive line sometimes
didn't do him any favors.
No,
he's a fighter, man. He's a fighter.
I really like the way he
passes that eye test.
He threw that one ball to Terry that was fucking on point.
Yeah, he has some on point drop or passes, and then he has some like the short passes sometimes.
I think it's as long. It's long. If you
His
watch him,
motion
he's very long. So instead of coming here and here, it's very long. So the longer passes, I think he's easier for them to. Yeah. I don't know. But he's very long.
There's some fucking coaching.
He definitely looks like he could be something.
Yeah.
That Washington's offensive line's a lot worse than I thought.
I
think they're one of the worst actually, right there with the Giants.
And I think Sam Howell actually looked pretty good.
I would honestly say that like as a cohesive team, they have not looked bad. They've had some stalls here and there. That's going to happen, but like overall, I think they give you a little bit more faith than some other teams in the league right now.
And it's not the third quarter goober face. It's
goober face. All right, right. I'm the goober.
Almost half.
So what's your guys' talking points on Bears, and then what's your talking points on?
So
who was the other team they played?
The
Commanders.
So
the Washington football team.
So the Commanders, I think my one thing from watching them is I was a little bit more impressed with Sam Howell, and then defensive line, offensive line, very less impressive than I expect from both of them, especially the defensive line. So those are my points on Washington.
I agree with you there. Howell has those moments where you can see it. So but that defense is. Both the lines have been disappointing. Like
Agreed.
That offensive line, it maybe didn't have as high as hopes, but that defensive line is supposed to be one of the better defensive lines. And it's just, what's going on?
Yeah.
You got a lot of top picks on that line, and they're just underperforming. And
the Bears made you look like a fucking JV team pushing you around, dude.
I was expecting that game to go Washington's way because of that defensive line versus what was a banged up Bears offensive line. The matchup was there for Washington to absolutely take it.
Like, yeah, it was a reversal.
If you bet the Bears, if you came up on the Bears this week, then good for you, man. Because looking at that matchup after them coming off of that really close overtime loss to Philly, you're like, dude, they can keep up. So they're playing the boo-boo team, the 0-4 team, at home. Shout out to the Bears, maybe finally finding some cohesion in a mess of a fucking season so far.
Yeah, my takeaway on the Bears is I still need to see more, but Justin's had 2 good games.
Right.
Both on my bench. One negative is still maybe coaching. Like maybe this is the first game.
Eberflus ain't the dude.
Maybe this is the first game that you let him actually have design runs and kind of maybe play to his strengths. So, and then I think that the linebacking core, what we thought was going to be better, is very underperforming for the Bears.
To build off that, before that win, just the way that their season has gone, it's been in the media, of course, firing the coaches, getting rid of Fields, and now they have a good game against Denver, and they get this win. To build off of this is going to determine the season after their next games going forward. Are they going to be able to build off of what they did,
right,
or are they just going to flutter and
roller coaster? Wop, 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 wop. That's what the Commanders are going to do.
Yeah, and that's
both of these teams, I think, are destined for high peaks and low valleys. I think that it's going to be a week to week for them. Some days they're going to be like, wow, and then other days going to be like, whoa.
You think there's organizational changes coming? Just how much in
Chicago?
Well, yeah. Well, both for
sure. I don't think you're wrong. No, all right. So then next up would be what happened this morning, early morning in the Londons. It was.
I'd be pissed if I was a Bills fan.
It was 25-20 Jaguars.
And not because we lost, but because we had to go across thing and we lost a home game and we lost the game. Even if we go to Jacksonville, I think that maybe the Bills come up on top. But because Jacksonville's been over there twice,
Twice,
2
no.
weeks
Well,
in a row.
technically once they just hung out. They're on vacation over
Correct.
there.
So
well, no,
I
they
just-
got to be practicing somewhere, I'm sure.
I
but,
just
like,
feel like that's such a bullshit fucking loss for the Bills. It just
I mean, it is a little bit more of an advantage than your standard home field because, I mean, Jacksonville does have fans out there, and staying out there that extra week, I'm sure helped them.
yes.
But still, the Bills, you got to be a good enough team to take this on. I know that's a long trip and it's a tough trip.
You were playing a pretty good team in Jacksonville. It wasn't like the Jaguars or the Jaguars Bowl.
yeah, because Doug Peterson's there. It's not Urban Meyer.
Well, I also think this is maybe
This could
maybe
be
this
the-
coming out party of the Jags. They played really well.
Yeah,
Really well.
they've been kind of up and down, and if they can build off this win,
Correct.
I mean, we all were pretty high on them, thinking they should be the team to win the South, and it's just been up and down. And I mean, maybe this stint over in London can help them out.
Yeah, so that's my takeaway of the Jags is offensively we just got too much of a roller coaster. We need to get more on a straight line. That's like my negative. My positive is you see it offensively in different spots. All of a sudden, boom! They look like they could be unstoppable with ETN and Zay and
Right, they
Ridley.
look like they can beat anybody.
So
when they're clicking.
my positive is that they do look great, but my negative of the Jags is that it's too much of this right now. What do you guys think, Jaguars? What's your negative and positive?
They are missing Robinson on the tackle.
Yeah, he got hurt today. Cam
So
Robinson got hurt today.
that doesn't help.
Oh, not one little bit.
There's the play right there. Anthony Richardson got tackled. Looks
Landed
like
on.
looks like it popped out. We'll see what happens, but it looks like it's dislocated. It does. He couldn't move it, and he was touching it right away. That's a sick catch. So what's your ups and downs there, team? I'm sorry, bro.
I mean, for the Bills, I kind of feel like, yeah, it was kind of stacked against them, and Jacksonville's a good team. This is a game that you could lose, and you did. And I still think Buffalo is probably the best team in the East. So I don't think this is going to slow them up too much. Just one of those games, like a Thursday night game that, could be a funny score sometimes because of the travel. And Jacksonville, yeah, had that advantage from staying over, get to hopefully build off this and be the team we want to see.
Traditionally,
defense.
teams that play over in London, they get their bye. Does that mean the Jacksonville Jags have
I think.
week 6 bye? They've been over there for 2 weeks. To come back
I
to
didn't
their
think
bye.
of a week 6 bye for some reason.
Traditionally, when you play London, you get your bye
Yeah.
the following week.
What are you thinking on those teams there, Chuck?
Buffalo, Jay Allen,
Still
the
looks
dude,
stu-
still
looks
the dude,
studdish.
still the dude. So obviously that's a plus. Minus for them is that defense is not as tip top as it has been. They've been blowing teams out. So when you boat race motherfuckers with 37 points for 3 straight weeks, you're gonna win a lot of games that way. So this week was one of those where Jay Allen didn't really do a whole lot, and they were kind of leaky, man.
They couldn't run the ball today.
They let Jacksonville kind of dice them up a little bit.
Couldn't run the football.
Yeah,
No
the run game hurt him
If you
again.
revert back to that, that's not good for Buffalo either.
And the underthrown pass to Diggs on later in the game.
Well, I kind of bring that pick, you're one-on-one, you're throwing it up, and the guy comes down with it. That's on your receiver just as much as it is on the quarterback.
Well, yeah, I understand being the jump ball, but I think if he could have I know it was a deep pass, but he needed to actually lead the receiver. The receiver had to come back to get that, which made it that jump ball, which Diggs had a shot at, but did not win that battle. It was close. They both had hands on it.
Let's jump into games going on right now, Charles.
Whoop whoop. All right, dude. Let's cover them, dude. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just go right down the line here.
Yeah.
Titans Colts halftime, 6-10 Colts, but Anthony Richardson is certainly questionable, if not doubtful, to return for the second half.
That's such a
after watching that. Minshew still can get it done. They went to Baltimore and got a dub with him as the starting quarterback. So.
Yeah, it's just a bum seeing Anthony go down.
But no firepower. D. Henry back to earth. The Titans kind of back to earth after that good game against the Bengals last week, right? The Titans are the weirdest team in the NFL. Can we agree about that?
No, I think they're just straight this way. They don't go this and they don't do this. They're the exact same team every week, and it depends on how a team
plays. I think
plays
it's the exact opposite. I think that they can be any team any fucking week.
Well, I think they can be every team any week. It's depending on how the team comes in and plays it. They don't do anything different.
I just
they
think
do
it's
the
so
same.
bizarre. The
they do the
Titans
same
are so
thing.
weird, man. The Titans are so weird.
That's why they're like the mediocre.
Start over.
They're gonna be 8.
Vrabel, start over, dude.
Like
it's not there.
Shit.
It's not there. You gotta get younger. You gotta try something.
And then with the Colts, I actually think the Colts are trending upwards. My one negative would be the fact that Anthony's been hurt a bunch, which that's going to happen when you're running the ball. But offensively and defensively, they kind of seem like they're trending upwards. Like they are working at coming back. And I think Shane Steichen is a fucking hell of a coach.
You can tell by the loss in Philly. You have been preaching on that since day one. You said Philly's going to regress because of the loss of the coordinators.
And I think Shane Steichen is
I don't think the defense has really missed a beat, but I think the offense very much
very competitive. Very competitive in every game.
Goddamn, dude. Jalen Carter.
Did you pull up and see if Taylor has any touches that game?
That is true. Is he even playing? We have, as it were.
So, I mean,
what's your take on
Zach
those
Moss
teams?
is our leading toucher.
Oh, I sat him.
Sat him.
They don't have any.
Let's see. We're trying to get to. That's all Tennessee. I don't give a shit about Tennessee. Let's go to the Colts. We're doing it live. Fuck it. We're doing it live. Jonathan Taylor, 4 carries, 13 yards.
So he's getting touches.
No, because Moss is 6 for 84 and a tud. That's where ride the hot hand, baby. Not that we don't love you, JT, and we just paid you, but like.
What are your takes on those teams, Trev? Before we move on to the next ones.
Yeah, I mean, you want your rookie in there because he needs to grow and progress and learn. And any injury that's going to take him out, it's going to hurt. But again, having Minshew, we all kind of like him as a backup, so the team's record shouldn't suffer too much. And the rest of that roster has been better than advertised. So
how many hits are you going to let him take, though? You got to pull
him
over and you got to be like, dude, we got to find a way to you got to move the ball. You still got
to play to his strengths, though. You don't want to be like the Bears and take that away from your quarterback.
He's extremely athletic, but
you just got to make sure he's healthy when he's out there.
You got to protect his ass, yeah.
What do we got next? Charlie Bosco?
It's not my name. And the next up is in a game that we unfortunately bet, gentlemen. 21-0 at halftime. It has mercifully gone to halftime. New Orleans in New England.
So I'm like 50-50
giving them shellacking.
I'm happy the Saints are winning, but I'm like mad because of the bet. I just thought the Saints offensive line would be able to hold up to defense, but obviously I think the Saints
is Carr back or is
he's
that
playing.
Okay.
I think the Saints for me, the downside of the Saints this year has been the offensive line as a whole. Running wise, pass blocking wise,
they didn't give Derek. Yeah, I was gonna say they haven't given Carr any love.
The positive of the Saints is the defense just doesn't miss a beat. The defense seems to be pretty stout.
Agree.
But right now, if that offensive line doesn't get fixed, Carr's not having any time. Kamara's got nowhere to go. Williams got nowhere to go. You got no time to get to Olave. So right now, downside offensive line positive, defense is good. For the Pats, nothing good.
Everything's bad.
I got
everything's bad.
That fucking team.
I don't think we need to pass that along the panel.
I think
that's quite apparent, right?
I think that Bill Belichick should be on the hot seat. I think that I don't think you can now argue that it was all Tom, but I think that a lot of it now shows that people wanted to come play because of Tom. They weren't coming to play because of Bill. So those are my takes on those teams.
So, yeah, this is I don't know how many bad bets in a row. It started good at the beginning of the season, and it's been bad since. And I just thought with this game being in New England, even though the Patriots don't have a star at the skill position, that with Bill O'Brien back, Daniel Jones would look more like the guy he did his rookie season.
Mac.
I'm sorry. God damn it. He looked kind of as bad
like
as Daniel Jones. I mean, but
the question is, which Jones is worse?
Mac. It's close right now. It's close.
It's not good.
I mean, I should have, took what I saw in last week's matchup in that putrid offense that they had. I just figured being at home that they would be better, and
not even close.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
I thought they would have got blown out and they would have had a better performance. Not going to blow it out 2 weeks in a row on Bill Belichick.
Right.
And not to make any more excuses, but I didn't know all those Patriots were out on that defense. I didn't know how serious those injuries were until after I placed that bet, and then I was like kicking myself afterwards so bad.
Yeah.
Not betting the Patriots
Missed it.
Chuck talked you off the Lions. We were preaching the Lions earlier. What's the next? Chuck, what's your evaluation?
I accept fault where I did choose one line over the other, but it was your bet, so you could have done whatever you wanted. Okay, so. No, I don't want to talk about the Patriots. They're bad. I don't want to talk about the Saints. They're bad. The Saints just happen to be better on today. 21-0. Let's move on.
All right.
Wow.
I'm serious, dude. I don't think either one of them are going to make noise come the later part of the year. Not with what we've seen.
Yeah,
the Saints don't.
It's hard to fix an offensive line.
Their ceiling isn't that high, and the Patriots are bad. At least the Saints you can waffle over.
Well, the Saints, you have to fix an offensive line.
It's going to be a run fest in New Orleans. For this, they're going to try to close out this game. But the next up is a good competitive game, low scoring, but an old school AFC North rivalry in the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I took the Ravens, giving 4. Giving 3.5.
Yeah, they got to win by 4. Yep,
giving 3.5.
Because the Steelers have looked bad.
My takeaway with the Steelers is offense has been really bad. Offensive line's not good. Kenny Pickett's not playing good. Defense is stellar, but the offense is really not great. The Ravens, my takeaway from the Ravens is offense still doesn't look great from them. They've had some wins. They're playing good, but they're winning the games they should, but they still aren't.
There's not a lot of juice.
No, not a lot of juice at all. And the takeaway is that defense has played a little bit better than I thought. I didn't know how well that defense was going to be. I still don't know how well the back end is. I know they got Humphrey back today, but still.
Kyle Hamilton's a beast.
Dude. But that's only. But they're the corner. Yeah, so we'll see. But the Ravens defense played better. But I do think the offense has kind of been.
Richardson's coming back, man. He's
out.
hanging his on.
Yeah, shoulder's out. What about you, Timon?
For the Ravens, I thought this offense would be going by now with the players they have. Maybe with the new coordinator, there's I don't know if it's a language or something that seems to be slowing them down with that offense. They're not hitting on all cylinders yet. I expect more there. We'll see if they get better. I hope they do, because that team should be a lot more fun to watch, and it just hasn't really happened for them in offense. The defense been solid. For the Steelers, they draft a tackle in the first round. The offensive line was a problem last season, and it hasn't gotten much better.
Right there, they didn't get a first down on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, they can't pick up the first and shorts. Pittsburgh, both of these teams, but Pittsburgh, since I'm on them, they're known for their physical style, and Pittsburgh can't run the ball. It's not the same Steelers, and it's just not working. A lot of Canada, their OC has gotten a lot of criticism.
A lot of flack over these last couple of weeks.
I haven't watched too many Steelers games, so I can't say about his play calling, but the physicality isn't there. Yeah.
I've watched 3 of them.
I watched a decent amount of Steelers football, considering. I was higher on them coming into this season.
Yeah, what do you think of them, Chuck? Both sides, Ravens and Steelers.
Right,
you're high on both teams.
I think that the Ravens, unfortunately, are underwhelming for what the expectations were. Both Trevor and I have them in the Super Bowl for the AFC representation. So, obviously, it's still possible. They still have a good record, and they're still running the North, but they have looked. I thought Lamar was going to come out and redial some shit up, and he's been fair. Once again, injuries everywhere for Baltimore seems to be the narrative. Running back, line, cornerback, they've been busted up. But they've been competitive, so I think for them the loss is all the injuries at running back for a team that is predicated on moving the ball that way. They drafted all those wide receivers, and those guys still aren't necessarily stepping up a whole lot.
Yeah,
OBJ's been a little hurt, but and then Zay Flowers has been good. Bateman's been okay.
Bateman's not been okay. Bateman just fucking showed up today and dropped a touchdown pass.
They've all been
Odell's been hurt.
Bateman likes to run his mouth.
Okay, so there's your negative. the positive is that you're winning, and the North is shaky. You should be able to take a stranglehold here, so that's your positive. Steelers, it's all bad right now in Pitt. It's all bad. I don't have very much nice to say. We've touched on our offensive line, even though they drafted for it, hasn't been playing very well. Their defensive line is getting older and is not very good. They lost a lot in secondary, and you can see that coming out in games. Like Pitt, you gotta figure it out. You gotta find a way to get younger. You gotta find a way to get some more juice. Joey Porter Jr. has been actually a pretty good name for them in the cornerback position for a rookie. He's made some plays, but overall, not a lot of good to talk about for the Steelers.
What we got next then?
Next up, before we give out our next, I want to ask you guys real quick, what are you feeling about this beer? It's kind of sat and it's opened up a little bit.
I think it's delish still.
I think that the cinnamon really has come out a lot more than the pumpkin, if I'm being honest about what my flavor profile is right now.
I don't know. I think I get a balance of both.
Yeah, I still think I don't know if I get many more cinnamon than I did.
Not many more cinnamons.
Before we jump into the next game, I gotta take a piss.
Hey, me too. Yes, thank God. All right, I didn't know if I was gonna. Yeah, bro. I was trying not to break my streak. Of, I haven't caused one.
Well,
yet,
I knew it was coming because I was drinking Red Bull this morning, and I was like, yeah, because some dudes I'm like, dude, I don't like you.
All right, so pitch it to me one.
Just jump.
We're just jumping.
Wait, hold on. I'll throw it to you. So Chuck, what's the next game we got on the list?
Next game up is one that we did bet that unfortunately won't have. It has the opportunity to hit, which the Texans are up 9-7.
This was Charlie Roscoe's call.
I was very, very, very high on the Texans being able to move this needle. Now it has been a defensive struggle in this game so far. Obviously.
You've been high on the Texans. I'll give you props.
I would just have to. They're passing the eye test at least, especially in the lines. Like it's one thing to say win versus loss, whatever, right? Like their record's probably not going to be great, but they're chippy. They're fighting.
I'll jump right in. My one takeaway, or my one good thing of the Texans takeaway, is that CJ Stroud has been better than advertised. I don't know if I have a negative other than that. Like the Texans have been maybe one of the better surprises this season. My negative is they just got to keep growing. I don't really have a negative on the Texans. They are in every game. They fight. CJ's played pretty good. They got a nice complement of weapons. D'Amico's done a great job. The Falcons, the negative.
D'Amico looks like he's still strap it up, dude. Look at him. Like he looks like he's ready to go.
The negative of the Falcons is I think no matter what I think of Ritter, I really liked Ritter. I think that they need a quarterback. The weapons are there. I think the coach is the right coach. I think. But the quarterback maybe is the hindrance of what's going on that team.
Yeah, for me, I for the Texans, D'Amico, like he's been better than I thought he was going to be. I know because it's a tough situation with the Texans rebuilding, but they've hit on some of those players, and we like Stroud as coming out. We thought
I didn't
he could
like
be
him
great.
as much as you guys. You guys liked him more.
He was the best pure passer in this draft, and if you can pass the rock, then you're gonna succeed. Like,
that's a great tackle.
Yeah, definitely, and he's been good. Like
he's a monster.
The Texans' offensive line has had injuries.
I fell into the gap. Sorry, guys.
But they've been holding their own and getting some of those players back starting for the line. I think helps both the run game and Stroud going forward. They're definitely they're going to grow more than I expected them to. I think this season.
Well, and I think that's why you can't say that there's really a negative.
That's why
because they are surprising. They are scrappy. They are already on the cusp of being truly competitive. Like, yeah, they're going to have growing pains. They're going to have turnovers that are going to happen. They're going to lose some games that they might be able to win, blah, blah, blah. But overall, like, you've already seen enough to be like, wow.
Correct.
The culture is turning back into a potential winning situation versus
I think that's a positive.
Expecting to lose.
I think it's a positive for the Texans and Colts.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And for the Texans, though, I feel like the way that it's looked, their win and loss record's going to be a lot closer than I thought it was going to be heading into the season. And then for the Falcons, I liked a lot of that team actually going into this season too. I had them challenging for that division. I wasn't sure on Ritter, and he had a bad game last week. It's been a tough offensive game this week, so we'll see what happens there.
You think they give Heineke a look?
No, I think Ritter's better than Heineke.
Okay.
I think Heineke was, I don't know. That Washington Commanders team's a weird team to read.
I think the Falcons are kind of in a weird position though, because that team's good enough to have a close win-loss record like I think the Texans. So they're not going to be fighting for a top draft pick. So it's really seeing what you have on the roster and then deciding where best to go from there. If Ritter isn't the guy, then if the Bears fall back to being bad, do you go after Fields? Do you go after somebody
I
like
don't think
that?
so. I think that this quarterback class coming out,
There's a lot of quarterbacks.
Caleb's going 1, Drake's going 2, Michael Penix is probably going
the
3.
guy, and if you're kind of already there, because they're going to be a high-ish draft pick, then you take the swing.
Because J.J. McCarthy's going to be up there, Quentin Ewers is going to be up there, so that's 5 dudes.
I'm not taking McCarthy that high.
Well, I bet he's probably going to go that high.
You think?
So to touch on that, I did listen to a first draft podcast the other day, and they were talking about the top quarterbacks, and of course Caleb Williams at the top, and second they had Drake May, which I think I might have been a little harsh on last week just because
he didn't look good last week.
He didn't look good last week, but when we've been higher on Penix, but Penix I didn't really know about his injury history, and May's more the prototypical guy, so I can see NFL teams liking him
why
more
the
than
scouts
Penix.
lean in that direction.
And
then last week, like Trev touched, he runs 14 times, or this week he runs 14 times, not a lot of yards, 14 times for 59 yards. Shows that he can move and is willing to run. So.
And then next on that list, I can't remember if it was Ewers or McCarthy, but it was them two.
Correct.
Then they had.
Then it goes Bo.
Actually, they had Sanders on their list. Sanders might not even come out.
Correct.
Probably won't. And
if Sanders was coming out,
Dude,
I would jump Sanders over
a
some
bunch of
those
draftable guys. We didn't talk on Jalen Davis and fucking LSU, and then
Jalen
Daniels. Jalen Daniels, sorry.
And then you have
and
the
then
kid also.
what's his name in Florida State?
Yep.
That be balling.
Travis?
I don't.
Jordan Travis?
Jordan Travis.
Gosh,
But I don't
I'm
know.
mixing those names up.
But
big
I'm
time.
more. He's more.
What I'm saying though is like there's
Riley
fucking-
Leonard from
There's
Duke.
quarterback talent everywhere.
Riley Leonard from Duke
Everywhere.
is up there.
He hurt himself, but yeah, before
I think
that,
he's
he
a
was-
little lower, but also on that list, it was after Sanders, Penix, I think, was after him on their list.
Wow. I think Penix has done more than Sanders. I
I
guess
mean,
maybe it's the ceiling with Sanders' athleticism because Penix is a pure pocket passer.
But as far as the
Pure
season
pocket passer.
played, I mean, they both had great seasons so far this year.
Well, yeah, and Penix has only made a few, like two picks. I think he's only responsible.
And I
for
think
2
Bo
picks right
Nix was the next name on that list that I remember.
If he was bigger, he would be
Let's-
higher. He's
Well,
athletic
he's got to
as
throw the
shit,
ball.
but
He's got to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Let's jump back into the pro football.
So we got a little
Segue.
sidebar.
Little segue.
Speaking of which, I need some more bar. Stop scooting the.
Well, I fell into the hole.
My ass is in the hole.
All right, so what's the next?
I'm gonna go visit the fridge for some more alcohol. I'll be back, everybody.
Break 3.
No, you guys keep going. I'm just gonna go right here.
All right, so what's the next game though?
Oh, the next game open here.
All right, so right now we're watching the Ravens play, and it's still lackluster.
All of this
It's
came
10
off the rails
it's-
real quick,
It's
everybody.
10-3.
Gotcha.
Kenny Pickett, just man, dude, what do you think of KP, their team on?
Man, he doesn't look like a first-round quarterback.
No,
I know that line isn't helping him a whole lot, but
Man, they can't run the ball, they can't throw the ball.
yeah, it's a tough situation there.
So we got Panthers, Lions.
Panthers Lions. This is a game I should have bet. I know the spread was a little high, but man, the Lions looking good again. 28-10 with 10:56 in the third. Jared Goff 3 touchdown passes. Bryce Young 2
playing
picks.
fucking so good, dude. He's playing so good. My takeaway of the Lions is everything's positive. I can't wait to see when Amon St. Brown is not even playing today.
I picked Laporta up for my fantasy team.
Dude,
He's got
he's-
2 touchdowns today.
Dude,
been
he's a
balling.
stud. Jameson Williams is a stud. Montgomery's a stud. Gibbs is a stud. Right now they are set up. My one negative is I would still like their defense has played better, but I would still like to get a little bit more help for Aiden. I know a couple guys help out, but I'd like to see a constant help for Aiden. Other than that, I the Lions are on the uptick.
Yeah, as far as the NFC goes, I think they're 4th in my power rankings.
For the Panthers, I thought that line was going to play better, and the line has not been good for the Panthers. I thought the line would play better, and it's not been good. All their weapons are just old, and they don't get open.
The best they looked was with Andy Dalton under center.
Well, they actually got open that game. They don't get open. They don't
Yeah, Young hasn't looked that great. I'm sure that offensive line is part of it, but still, you would have hoped he would be closer to what Stroud's doing. Because Stroud's got the same trouble with his
Stroud's offensive line has looked way better. The Texans' offensive line is actually on the uptick compared to the Panthers, I think.
Which is surprising since they have injuries.
What do you think? What do you think of these teams there? Chuck, Panthers and Lions.
I think the Panthers are regretting not drafting C.J. Stroud 5 weeks in. I think that is the unfortunate back and forth right now. You're wondering, Bryce. I know it's young. I know it's super, super early still, 5 games.
Sure.
But you're just looking at Stroud putting up 300 and being competitive, and you're like, golly, man. So that's the negative. The positive. For the Panthers, I don't even. Right now, it's tough to speak on a lot of positives. The young Juice Ikenakwane, who should have taken a step forward from being a second-year type, has not.
And I thought he was going to be a fucking
Miles Sanders has been good, man. Thielen's been good, man.
Well,
Mingo's been good, man.
But they don't get they still don't have Thielen would be better if they had an explosive dude.
But Terrence Marshall Jr. should be that. They drafted him to be that. He's just not.
I think Sanders would be better if he was a number 2 back. There's no explosiveness.
Agreed.
Chalk should be more explosive for that team.
He looked good against Seattle.
with Dalton.
Right. Exactly. So the Lions, there's a lot of good that coaching staff. The juice is there in Detroit.
I like the Lions coaching staff. A lot of former players.
I just think all of it makes a lot of sense up there. It's tough, hard.
Well, the offensive coordinator's gone. He's done next year. He'll be head coach.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Ben
but
Johnson,
not from a negative, from a good standpoint.
From a positive,
right?
He's gone. He's a head coach. He's going to be the Raiders head coach. He's going to be somebody's
Bears and Raiders? Top of the list?
Okay, a little inception there.
What's the next game, Charlie?
Well, I want to speak on the negative of the Lions. I would say the negative of the Lions has unfortunately been that secondary. They tried to rebuild it, and that's still kind of spotty.
Is he done?
I think
Gardner Johnson. I just don't think he's.
I think he's done. I think he got hurt.
Yeah. Well, I remember him getting hurt. I don't think
he came back.
I don't think it's a year though.
I don't know.
It's multiple.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't want to misspeak. But yeah, no, that secondary though they retooled it is not as good as they were hoping for. That's probably the only negative.
To speak on that, Mosley from the 49ers, which they have as a corner, he finally just got healthy. So they just got him back. Hopefully that will help a little bit.
That's CJ Mosley, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I remember watching many games.
But that missing Gardner is also going to hurt them. Because they need all those pieces. It's not like they have a deep team on defense.
No. So so the next one up is gonna be Giants at the Dolphins.
Getting an update right here. Is this Tua tossing a tutty?
Yeah. Give him the peace sign. Pay the fine.
24. Is that our update? 24-10, Chuck?
That's it. That's currently where it's at. Yes, sir. Dolphins have the ball right now.
I think we bitched enough on the Giants.
I mean,
I don't actually have a positive of that team. Jalen Hyatt looked good in the game, and Peyton kept saying throw it to Jalen, and I was big on Jalen.
The positive is getting Saquon back. That's the only way that offense looks good.
You shouldn't have signed Daniel Jones for the money. I fucking told you so.
Yep.
My Dolphins positive is basically if they play on time, they
are upright.
They are unstoppable. Two's upright, offensive line.
Which
Armstead is hurt, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep,
he's done
tackle.
But playing on time is big for them.
Teron Armstead, the guy who came over from New Orleans.
As soon as they don't play on time, they're in trouble.
Sure. No, that offense has got to click. It's got to be a rhythmic offense for sure. They're not a stop and go.
So that would be my negative. Is that the defense is if the defense is also not close in the game and doesn't have plenty of time. Josh Allen tore them apart last week, and they were so against some other teams too. So
yeah, they haven't been as good as you think they could be with some of the names on that defense.
So And I really don't give a fuck. Giants have no positive.
Yeah.
Jalen Hyatt.
Jalen Hyatt, sure.
Yeah, because D. Waller came over and hasn't made any sort of a splash.
That kind of looks like a good move the Raiders made.
Do you want me to go in on the?
No.
Nothing.
Texans kicking another.
Look at Jones.
Texans kicking
12
another
to 16
field
for
goal.
a $105. D. Jones, $40 million this year.
A-Chain.
Greatest robbery in the NFL.
Told you.
A-Chain, that running back from A&M.
Arkine.
I told you.
A-Chain.
A-Chain is what I heard it last, but I think it changed at one point. So
I
It doesn't
told
matter.
you. I
That
told
kid
you that
be
dude was
balling.
going to be
2.8.
legit.
2.8 is just killing it, dude.
light and fast and just
You got anything
in the
to say?
perfect system.
You got anything to say about the Dolphins other than that they're Chuck? We're not really talking Giants.
Yeah, sure. We've shit on the Giants enough. I think that the Dolphins need to work on their consistency. Like we've kind of touched. I think that Buffalo Bills game is a real reminder that when it comes down to playing good football teams, you have to be more balanced.
Just whenever you finish.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
If you are the Giants and you're paying $40 million to your quarterback,
Fire me and pay me.
if you get a high enough draft pick, are you taking a
Quarterback?
Say you don't. Say it's not May or Caleb.
I
Are
mean,
you taking number 3?
You get him on the cheap, regardless. I mean, well, if it's like
But then
top
you got
five,
four. But
if
then
you're
you got
top
four.
five.
But then you got $40 million.
Well, I understand that. But then you basically equate it to like paying one guy $50 million because you do 40 and 10 kind of split.
still, if Daniel
But you're
Jones
sending
play continues as is, you have to make that move. You have to for your fan base, for your team. You can't
I totally
continue
agree.
to roll this out. You got to eat that cap money if this is going to be what it
Real
is.
fans will
So-
understand the move.
So
They really would.
let's roll this same question to another team. Justin Fields looked good for 2 games. They lost 1-1. Say they still are in the top so many picks, and Caleb and Drake are gone, and you have the 3rd pick at the quarterback. Are you keeping Fields? Or are you rolling with another quarterback? Sucky, your record sucks. So you're getting a top
That's a really
like
good
8
sidebar
pick.
question.
Your top 8 pick.
It's a good
So are you
sidebar.
rolling because
It's a
you're gonna
very
have to
good
pay
sidebar
that? You're gonna
question.
have to pay the one dude.
Right.
Or do you restart everything over and take the number 3 quarterback, whether it's whoever you love at that point? Drake and Caleb are gone.
So
Same question for both teams.
Sure, yeah. For the Bears situation, I mean, I think it would be more natural if you're going to replace that coaching staff, they bring in the quarterback that they want. But I also think that makes a lot more sense with the top 2 picks. Getting to that 3rd pick, I think that becomes more of a question. If Fields can still put up numbers and look better for the remainder of the season, even though they're losing, then that's where I maybe sways me that direction.
Oh, by the way, the other person, like the Panthers, are going to be the other boo team, but they traded away. They don't have
Yes.
the first.
No,
round.
the Bears have.
That's
Bears
Chicago.
could have
The
one and
Bears
2.
could have Drake.
Oh my
They
God,
could
they're gonna have a top.
and Arizona is going to be the
They
same
could
way.
have
Harrison Jr.
And we have to still see We still have to see what Kyler Murray does too. Arizona and the Bears could be in the exact same spot because you could rotate it into Arizona too. Arizona's the same thing. Arizona, Giants, and the Bears
they
all
got
have
the
a
Texans
decision to
pick,
make.
but the Texans we've been a little higher on, and they're winning this game. They're about to cover.
But Arizona has their pick
Yeesh.
and the Texans, so they could still get the
Yeah.
one pick from them sucking. And I guess
Ooh, that was good.
the same thing goes to the Falcons. There are so many teams that have to make quarterback decisions. All right, let's roll into the next game. Sorry, we got off on our quarterback.
No,
team.
I mean, yeah, sidebars happen. So now we are featuring the afternoon games. These are all games that we've touched on are in progress currently as we're speaking. So let's give real quick score updates just from top to bottom for active games right here. You ready? All
Let's
right.
go.
So Titans 16, Colts 17. Titans have the ball. Saints 24, Patriots 0.
Oh my God.
Saints have the ball.
Dude, you calling for Bill Belichick's head after getting blown out 2 weeks in a row?
It's I mean, not his head, but
Trev's
you
going to
want
the cup.
accountability.
We're drinking out of a
Just
can.
fucking
We're
drink it,
drinking out of a
dude.
can.
You're right,
And we
you're
are
right.
drinking Truly
It was just
Seltzers. I'm drinking a lemon. Chuck is
Grapefruit,
drinking grapefruit.
which, by the way, truly nice addition of the actual juice. It tastes better. They are better. So
for Belichick, though, if he was the GM or if he was
He
the
is.
owner of the Patriots, he would fire himself for the way that dude is
Dude,
going.
they're going to get blown out 2 games in a row by a Saints
Fair
team
assessment.
that has no fucking offensive
That's
line.
how he works.
And it's
They
not
have
put
nothing.
up.
They have
24 points
no-
is the most
they-
points they've put up all fucking year so
for the
far.
Saints, oh absolutely,
Yes.
and there's fucking
And I
25
picked,
minutes
and I
left in
picked
the
them to
game.
go to the fucking Super Bowl and ripping Bill Belichick's ass. No offensive line.
10-3, Ravens over the Steelers. Ravens with the ball, so we kind of called that one.
Defensive
Still
battle.
disappointing. The Ravens, you guys were so high on them, and this should be better, and it's not.
No, you don't want to beat this.
Lamar
team
just
over by
walked
7.
off the field and threw his helmet down. Pissed.
Frustration.
Pissed. Okay, keep going, Charlie Ross.
28. No, wait, sorry. Skipped a game. Let's go Texans, Falcons. 13-7. Texans over the
12-7.
Falcons. Falcons
12-7.
with the ball. 12-7. Don't know how to read.
A lot of field goals for
Numbers
the
are hard.
lot of field goals for the Texans.
No, hey, you know what? If you're winning by a tutty right now, although the
Bijan
Falcons
just
do
had
have
a
the ball.
huge run.
Bijan just had himself a good run, yeah.
Dude, he's pretty good.
Next up is Panthers Lions. We got the Panthers with the ball, trailing by 18, 28-10 Lions.
Lions
Goff
hot.
having himself a day.
Laporta having a day.
Well, you got to get the ball from somewhere. Giants have the ball down by 14 in Miami, 10-24.
Please go down and get a tutty. Make something. Make yourselves not look like shit, Giants.
Yeah, that would be cool to see you get back. I mean, it really neither one of those teams affect the over. Like you're an AFC team, but we're NFC,
Yeah,
so
don't care
like
about
Miami, I don't give a
Am
shit.
I?
Yeah, like,
Am I?
Good for Miami.
I mean, I
Good
hope.
for
I don't know.
Niners past coaches.
Okay,
Pretty
so
soon.
now we're gonna get into the previews of the afternoon games because these still all have a quarter left as we
Yeah,
keep going here.
yeah.
So the
Dude,
first
nice,
one that we have
nice
lined up
catch.
here.
Who dropped that? Who's
Ooh.
15? He went and said sorry. Dropped a wide open ball. Aguilar, Nelly.
Oh,
Nelson
he's had a
Aguilar.
history of
Drop
bad
balls.
hands. Yeah,
Dude,
that's
he
why
played
he got
pretty.
ran out of Philly.
He played pretty good for Carr, dude. When
He
he
did.
was on
He
the
had a good
Raiders,
season
dude, he
there.
had a nice season with Carr.
Well, that's why he got
And
the
then we
money.
didn't sign him because
Well,
why would
that's
you
why-
sign? Why would you sign somebody that had a good season with you?
That's why he got the
Fuck
money
it.
in Baltimore.
Fuck it.
Anyway,
Sorry.
sidebar.
No, he went to New England first.
That's true, he did. Good call. All right,
I know.
Zach does. He remembers things. He just can't enunciate names. Names are not his forte, but it's okay.
But facts.
Facts matter. Bengals at the Cardinals. Okay, we got the
Is this the most must-win game of the week?
It's 1-3. It's insane to think that these teams both have the same record.
But is this
Think
the
of it.
most must-win game of the week for one-sided team? The Bengals. They have to win this game. They lose this
The
game,
Bengals have
write
to
them off,
win this
right?
game.
This is the most
I
must-win
don't
game
know
of the
if you
week
can
for a
write
team.
them off, but like, you shouldn't have any faith in them.
I have nothing positive to say about the Bengals.
I mean, with the
For
way
this
that
year, they've
offense
got-
has played with Burrow being hurt, this loss I think does knock them out because the AFC is going to be that good. There's going to be another team that gets that wild card spot that has a better record if you don't win this game.
The only positive I have to say of the Bengals is the way the defensive line played Hubbard and Hendrickson against their only win when they were pressuring the Rams all day long. The Rams couldn't stop them. That's the only positive the Bengals have all year. Offensively, it's been awful. They probably should have sat Burrow.
Yep.
I
mean-
not good. And then on the other side,
Give the boy
Arizona-
Browning a chance.
Arizona's been a fighter, and that kind of comes
Scrappy.
from your coach. But same thing. Biggest question is what are you doing with the dude that's Kyler Murray sitting in the pup list? Like that's the biggest question of the Arizona.
He's getting traded.
But you got to look at
He's
where
gonna get
what
healthy
are
and
we
he's
doing?
gonna get
Is it-
traded.
Is he going to go to the Vikings? Kirk Cousins. So there's a whole like
Ooh,
that's.
I do like. We got some juicy off-season shit,
But that's-
that can't come out now.
But
Come on.
that's it's so I don't really. Cardinals been fighting. That's on your coach.
No,
The
but
biggest
I
question for them
cannot
is
disagree
quarterback.
with the idea that this is a must-win for the Cincy fan base. Like, you got to get this done. This is a game you are expected to win. You already watched the Cowboys go and choke this away in Arizona. You know that.
Fumble. Texans
Texans
pick it
got
up.
a fumble recovery from the Falcons.
Was that Jonnu Smith that fumbled it?
81?
Yep, I think that's Smith.
Good return. There
All right,
it is. Texans fighting hard.
Keep rolling, Chucky.
Texans fighting hard. Yeah, no. Overall, Joe Burrow apparently has been rumored to be moving around better.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he does. The talent is for sure. The pendulum swings towards Cincy in this one. Obviously, Arizona's played hard. That is the takeaway from this season is like, even if the talent isn't there, the coach might be the guy. He can't give an opening day speech to save his life, but he can apparently coach a defense. Like, they're playing tough.
Correct.
Like, I think that they move on from Kyler because they already know that this year is gonna you're just gonna eat it, and he's not gonna be the same quarterback.
It just depends on where he goes.
I don't know though, because I think you need to. Well, I'm thinking you want to play Kyler if you're going to trade him. If your team's not,
you got to put a little bit more on tape that he's healthy.
You got to show that he's healthy. You got to show what he has still.
Okay.
But if you play him and then you start to winning, it depends on where your draft pick I think ends up on what guys
in a
are
way
going to be available.
You want him to do the look good but not win thing.
Correct.
Because
that's exactly what you need him to do.
Yeah. That's probably the best play.
High stock out in the trade market. You know you're gonna get a high draft pick. You're hitting on both cylinders right there. Like, I don't want to see the Cardinals do good. Don't get me wrong. Like, fuck the Cardinals. But like, that's the way that they can turn this current negative into a potential positive. Like, that's a lot of things got to go right for that team, and I don't think it necessarily will. That organization is not historically sound. Next up. And this is a really good matchup. This could tell a lot about both of these teams. It's Eagles at the Rams. Now,
I think this is one of the better games.
I absolutely do too, especially for an NFC matchup. Like, I think, unfortunately, I've been high on the Rams most of this year.
I have too.
They've played very well. I know
Cooper Kupp might be getting some
coming back.
snaps today.
He's definitely coming back. He's playing at least 20 snaps.
My positive of the Rams has been just everything has been positive. They've really stepped up. They've all those young players, offensive line seems like it's come together. They did get eaten alive by the Bengals. Stafford's looked on. He did have a bad game the other game, threw some picks, but he's been on point. Even injured last week, still hobbling around back there, playing great. With the Eagles, I knew this loss of Shane Steichen was going to affect them, and it has. They just don't look like they've been as explosive as they were last year. I don't know if that's play calling. I don't know if that's Jalen taking a step back. Defensively, they've been good, but they haven't been great. And I think we'll see at this game if that defense line can control the game or not. They should, but maybe the Rams step up and get a big dub here.
Yeah, the Rams played better than I expected. I thought they were going to be more rebuilding, but they just seem to be playing better. Stafford's been good. The Eagles have not looked great. I thought about betting this game, but the matchup with the Eagles pass rush against the Rams offensive line made me hesitate and not put any money on it, just because
it could go bad.
It could go bad. I could see this going the other way though too, and being a really good game, back and forth till the end.
Oh, it's going to be a good game. I think both teams have a lot to play for. I think, obviously, the positive for the Eagles is that you've won every game regardless of ugly or not.
Correct.
The negative for the Eagles is that you need to fucking click. Because right now you can get away with stuff. As games get more and more important and opportunities run thinner and thinner, like, it is important to stack these wins. I totally get it. But, like, you're going to run into, somebody who's going to give you a real dogfight, and can you win those games kind of thing. So
Paul just got a tip line, almost picked. No good.
Almost, but it almost doesn't count in
football.
The Rams are playing up. Like, I really think that you look at that roster and you're like, it's getting old. And they have this is the first year that they have a first round pick since Jared Goff, since 2016. This is the first upcoming draft that the Rams will have a first round draft.
Unless they trade away at the trade deadline.
Which they sure could, and they've obviously been known to do. But how crazy is that? Like, they sold the farm for their chip and they got it, and this team has been competitive.
They went to 2.
They're positive. Their positive is trading Cam Akers and still having a decent run game. That's their positive. Also with Puka Nacua coming out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah,
that guy has been electric. Like, he's been virtually unstoppable for a rookie that nobody had any expectations for, right? So that's a huge positive. The negative is that secondary is bad. Like, they will get exposed. There's going to be plenty of times that Rams defense is going to give up more. If the front seven can't generate it, the back end is nowhere. They traded out Ramsey. They don't have like a whole lot of juice back there. So, and then the Eagles, the negative for them is once again losing Steichen. I hate to bring it back because I didn't think that was going to be that big of a deal because of the talent that's there, but it has been devoid of timing and like fluidness. You're still winning. The positive outweighs the negative in Philly for sure, but like when it comes down to crunch time, you better get that offense finely tuned because I don't really like it in like a need it kind of situation right now for them. Next up,
what's the next game on the list, Chuck?
Next game up, man, was such a wonderful matchup of teams that talked a lot of shit earlier in the season to each other that are both 1-3. Remember when the drama between Sala and Peyton was going on?
Is that the only thing to talk about in this game? Is that the coaches talk shit to
They're
each other?
1-3, Jets and Broncos, y'all. That's a boo-boo matchup with Zach Wilson, who's got to figure it out, I guess, and Russell Wilson, who has been playing good, but that defense.
And the Denver's Bronco defense, it fucking sucks.
The hope for these teams has disappeared.
Bleak.
It is gone.
I don't really have much to say on either one.
No, we're gonna move on. Let's not. I'm serious, dude. There's bad happening there. They gotta flip the rosters on both of those squads. Seattle got a robbery.
Jets defense
out of
is up
Denver.
here. Jets offense is down here.
The defense has only been fair to
Good, every
you
time
gotta
you go
get the
3
juice
and
from the
out.
offense a little
Yeah,
bit.
every
I
time you
know.
go
You
fucking
gotta
3
not
and
a
out,
lot to play
defense on the
for.
goddamn field.
Not a lot to play for.
I mean, just since we're talking about that game, Zach Wilson though, after having the game that he did, does anybody's opinion really change? I don't probably not.
No.
He's so bad.
No, I mean
it was a good performance.
He's okay. He's okay.
Quarterback.
He's not awful. He's okay. You don't want him out there. You want a better quarterback.
Sure, I mean that's why you brought in Aaron Rodgers.
Upward and onwards, dude.
Yeah, with that roster, you can't expect to really have much of a bet.
Is Rodgers gonna come back? He says he is.
No.
He says he's got the miracle Achilles heel treatment. He's
They're
gonna
going to
come
be
back.
out of the race.
Smoking the same shit.
Okay, upward and onwards, you guys. Chiefs, Vikings.
Dude, is this where you end up losing this game? And
This is a trap game
and you
for
look
Casey.
at trading. Start to work on trading. Start trading Vikings away. Like
No, because I think this is a trap game for KC, and they come into Minnesota thinking that everybody's done it, and Kirk Cousins drops 330 yards, and Justin Jefferson has 2 tutties.
I could see how you might think that, especially with Minnesota's offense, but the way that Kansas City played,
might think that, but
the way they played against the Jets, there's no way Patrick Mahomes is going to be happy. He's going to be plain angry, I feel like. And I feel
it's like they got their ass kicked this week.
Even though they won.
I feel like
you were supposed to come out there
he's
and
gonna wear that.
lay flaming elbows all over motherfuckers.
I feel like he's going to wear that, and that's what's could.
And the Vikings defense fucking ain't good.
They're not. They can't stop a nose.
So you're just gonna see
a little better.
You're gonna see an angry Pat Mahomes just fucking.
You don't want to see an angry Pat Mahomes. A happy Pat Mahomes is still good enough to beat you. An angry Pat Mahomes is definitely gonna beat you.
Yeah, so I think you're. I think that's toast.
Okay, I mean that's.
Safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 10-5.
That's it.
Ravens are very
Baltimore. You should be upset.
Baltimore is very lackluster.
All right, and then the last game to preview for the Sunday slate. Do we want to leave it? Do we want to touch on the upcoming Monday and come back? We're gonna let Money have his
Monday
moment?
sucks too. So
Monday is it's true. It goes fan here, so that's true. All right, so Sunday night is.
The Cowboys at the Niners.
Blocked the kick. Sorry, Trev.
Yeah, no,
Steelers blocked it, and then it went out of bounds. So that's your safety.
Cowboys v Niners.
Yeah, I'm looking
one of the
forward
better
to this
games
game.
of like the NFL's
slate
schedule.
Yeah,
and all, not just this week.
Only because it actually works with the narrative. What they were. A lot of games you look at sometimes that hit primetime and you're like, well, earlier in the year would have made a lot of sense that these teams were supposed to play, right? Like this one hits on the cylinders it's supposed to.
Yeah, classic rivalry.
Oh, they're reviewing it to see if it's a touchdown.
Teams at the top of the NFC.
It's a touchdown.
It is. It's a
Shit,
touchdown.
sorry, Chuck. It's a touchdown. Look at his elbows down.
Wow, what a play!
I think it's a
Did he have
touchdown.
possession?
We'll wait for the review. We'll wait for the review.
Shit.
Little hobbity bobbity
Shit,
bobble.
sorry. So the block punt, the guy catches it and it looks like his elbow might get down. Sorry, Chuck. Inside the fucking inside the line, like right inside the line. Pretty intense shit right here.
Pretty intense
Watch.
shit.
See?
Which is why we shouldn't do live podcasts, because we loud as fuck.
What do you think, T? That's in. See,
But
Chuck,
he bobbles,
but then,
yeah, right. But see, wait for
He
that
bobbles
right
it after
there.
so the control is
yeah,
in
no.
question.
Right,
It looks good on the
It's two.
play
It's
by
two.
the
It's
freeze
two, not
frame.
6.
we'll have to see.
Right there looked
Gene
good.
Selator is saying,
It's
"Oh,
2,
it
not
stayed.
6.
It stayed as 2."
It's 2, not 6.
Okay, sorry guys. All right, go ahead, T-Man.
So yeah, I mean, this is a game I've been looking forward to. Classic game.
Do you think
I feel like the Niners, I think both of these teams are going to be there in the end, but no matter how the outcome is of this week, I think the Niners should win this game, but also Micah Parsons could fuck shit up and it could go south.
He could.
I don't think the Niners are going to go undefeated. I think we're really good, but I could definitely see a hiccup here or there. Of course, being a Niners fan,
This
I
is
want
not the
to
one
beat
you want to lose.
the Cowboys.
This is not the one you want to lose.
Well, and I think we're kind of in the Cowboys' head with the way the last 2 playoffs
I
have
think
gone.
Dak is not good. I think Dak is not very good, and I think Brock Purdy is better than Dak, at least right now.
Well, I think Kyle's
I
better
mean,
than
I agree
McCarthy.
with
I think
that.
Kyle's better than McCarthy, so.
Dude, and the other
I don't
thing,
think Dak is. Once Dak lost all of his actual, like, CeeDee Lamb is there. Don't get me wrong. Outside of that, he's got not a whole lot to work with. Like, Brandon Cooks hasn't been healthy.
Yeah.
Like, Michael Gallup has not returned to form after
Nope,
that
not
gnarly
that
ankle
injury.
injury. Yeah,
Messed
like
him up.
Tony Pollard's been good, not great. Because once again, that offensive line doesn't give him a lot of love. Like, so.
the best part of the Cowboys is that defense.
Well, 100%. Yeah, the front seven, they've invested in that.
Really,
No, but still, they've invested
still
more in
been
their
good.
front seven than their back end still, and they are still, Stephon Gilmore still there on one side, like.
And on the other side, like the Niners' defense has been good, but it's as far as
They haven't
what
been quite
what
as
they have
dominant.
on that team, I think they could be better.
I don't know.
So
man. They've
is
been
this-
pretty fucking good? They've been pretty.
They don't have that
they've
many
won-
sacks.
But you won every game by like 16 points. Like, I mean, that's
Yes.
that alone. Come on, like, I don't know how you like.
Just in the statistical
in
categories,
the statistical category,
I
they
mean,
haven't been as
we're
dominant.
getting pressures on quarterback. It's affecting the pass.
Get them off the spot,
But they're
sure.
not getting the sacks. The turnovers, there's not a whole lot of them. Like, defense has been good. It should be good. It could be better, though. Like, Bosa's really still hasn't been the guy he was last
I
season.
would agree with that. No, I would agree. He has not been on pace for defensive player of the year.
That defensive line,
100%.
I think, is the best they've had, and it hasn't really showed it. They've been good. They've been good, but they haven't.
Good.
They could be, I think, even better. And is this the game that they are? Or if they're not, then I think this is the Cowboys' chance to sneak a win here. We'll see.
So it's our Monday nighter to round out the week, Downey.
I don't care. I don't know. I'm just so tired of Josh McDaniels.
It is a dysfunctional down in Las Vegas. The Las
Like
Vegas
what?
Raiders
If
should still be-
you're an offensive coach, even if you're losing, your offense should still be clicking, and we don't score. Last year, you can take it all the way back. Last year's first year. Why were we losing all those games in the second half? You look, we don't score in the second half. Guarantee if you compile numbers, the Raiders' second half score has got to be super less than the first half. We score in the first half, second half we don't score. That's all on coach. He's not offensive coach. Offense should be better. That's all on him. I think that he's done. I think that we should probably look at Aiden O'Connell. I think he actually played a pretty good game. I know that he had 2 fumbles and a pick, but I think that if we lose today, Aiden O'Connell should start the rest of the season. We might as well see what we got. There's no point in having Jimmy play the rest of the season. We know what Jimmy is. Jimmy has played very lackluster in that one game. He's looked awful
I
in a
can't
couple
believe
games.
the Raiders are favored in this game. Even at home.
Yeah, and I think the Packers are playing pretty good. That defense has been playing what we expected it to. I think that the Packers' one negative is they start out too slow every game.
Bailey
If
Bailey
the-
Zappi is in the game. Mac Jones has been benched for the second straight week.
If the
Should have
Raiders,
kept Carroll from fucking Ole Miss.
if the Raiders go south as far as their win record, you think you trade Garoppolo? Because there might still be a team like, I don't know.
Well, I think that
Do you
he's
think
only
he
on a
might
two.
still
He's only
have value after shit in the bed?
no. He's
this
on a
year?
two. He's on a 2-year deal or something. He's not getting
You
paid
can
money.
move him.
You don't need to even move him. You
No,
just draft
you don't
somebody.
I was
He
gonna
needs to be
say,
sure.
yeah, no, he's
You-
not. He's
you
not
could
even
do
valued
that.
enough.
But I think you still might be able to get value, really. I do.
Maybe we get
There,
lucky.
there are
and we
teams
get-
that are starving
we
at
should,
quarterback.
we should just trade. We should just trade Devontae, get some value for him,
That's the other thing.
and then just get a
He's the
shitty draft
chip.
pick.
He's the chip.
Get a shitty draft pick. Go get Ben Johnson. Draft Drake May.
You know, just live it up. Let's
but
go,
that
Raiders.
offense.
Hire Zach Downey for your GM.
Yeah,
draft GM.
You would have made.
draft
You would have made
GM.
Or
better,
OC.
much better. Yeah, much. Yeah. Hey,
No, not OC. Just draft GM.
Yeah, that's a lot of thinking.
I could draft GM you.
But man, all around that offense, the names like
You should be-
Adams
you
and
should be
Renfro
good.
and Jacobs, all their numbers are down.
You should
Way
be good.
to be
Renfro
an
doesn't even
offensive
have.
coach.
Renfro's got like 2 catches. What the fuck are you doing, dude? It's not Josh McDaniels, an offense coordinator. If your team sucks, your side of the ball should be good, correct? Matt Eberflus.
Atlanta scored.
Matt Eberflus is a defense coordinator. He should have the defense side of the ball. The defense sucks at Chicago. If you are the head coach like DeMeco Ryans, your side of the ball should be fucking good, especially after the first year. Shane Steichen, first year offense, good.
Well, yeah,
your
there
side of the
should
ball should be good.
At least be
Gannon.
improvement.
Gannon in Arizona, his side of the ball, good. Josh McDaniels, offense, sucks. Eberflus, defense, sucks. That's the first. That should be the first notion that you are not a good coach is when your side of the ball isn't good. When you see all these other
When you're
dudes.
supposed to be that specialty guy.
Eberflus should be gone. McDaniels should be gone.
McDaniels comes off to me like
Prick.
a bit, but it seems like he can't run.
Did you say a bit or a bitch?
No, I didn't say either of those.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
did.
you want.
That's what you did. But no, it comes off to me. He has his system and he's gonna run it his way. He can't adjust to his players.
Correct.
That's what I see when I see his offense. It's you have guys that could be better and they're regressing in your system because you're trying to run it a certain
It's
way.
a tough word. Regression is a tough
I
word.
100% agree.
No,
That's
it's evident. You look at the tape, one viewing, and you're like, wow, this isn't going the way that they thought it was.
Looks like Pitt's line up for a field goal, boys. We need some fucking offense from the fucking Ravens.
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't matter.
It does just.
Well, I do. I need my
the
record.
Pats have fucked that.
I need my record to look better.
I
I got one
As
loss,
far as
right?
your picks,
I got one loss.
I don't know. We'd have to go back. We're
We'll
not.
have to review them.
That
I
would
think
be
there's a
fun
little
to
more
go
than
back
that
and see-
actually.
to see what's going
Well,
on.
so
between
that's
our-
the.
I've been fairly good. I think I
Fairly
missed
good.
one of my picks. I think I missed
You've
one
missed
of
at
my
least
picks.
two.
Fair enough.
That
So-
Cleveland game you were close on.
No,
but
that
I
was
think you
mine.
just
That was
missed.
in Cleveland. I covered.
That's
We
my
both
loss.
covered. No, yeah,
Oh.
that second ticket we both hit. He lost.
That was my
yeah.
loss on the second team.
Yeah.
So we're
I
gonna
thought there was another.
Wow.
take a break and then we'll come back with a preview of next week's games.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome back to Balls and Brews. We're gonna apologize that we said we have an upcoming preview, but because games haven't finished, so we don't have an accurate picture of what games are going to be big games, we're going to move right on into the common
I
sense
think-
and fandom.
I think it's only fair that we don't make an assessment of upcoming games without outcomes of this week. It was
Correct.
definitely a different start for this pod, but yeah, common sense this week. So there was a report that came out. Well, not a
Can
report.
we, before common sense, we're gonna hold on. Right now, we're
hold on.
watching the Steelers try to have a comeback win drive with $1:54 left on the Ravens, and the Texans also we're watching come back. CJ Stroud's got 5 minutes left, but down by 6, so
Six.
still need a
Full
touchdown.
touch, yeah.
Sorry, Chuck. Just give
No,
a
you're
little
good.
update of what we're watching here
Absolutely.
on the big screens.
On the phones, getting it where we can, the NFL mobiles. But common sense is, all right, so Jimmy Ward, a former safety / cornerback for the San Francisco 49ers, went on to a podcast this week and basically spilled the beans.
Touchdown. Steelers.
Touchdown Steelers, huge pass down the sideline. Fuck. George Pickens. Huge pass, boys.
I was
Sorry,
high
Charlie.
on-
I was trying not to
was
yell as
high
you were
on the
doing
Pickens.
it.
I was high
I
on
think
the
everybody
Pickens.
should be high on Pickens.
I was high on the Pickens. And
All right. Sorry,
Pickett to
Charlie.
Pickens.
Didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's huge.
Terrible towel going crazy.
So the Ravens are going to get about a minute left after the kickoff to have their chance. Sorry, Charlie.
Get one more shot.
Jump back in.
Sorry, Charlie.
Jump back in. Dude, look at how wide open he was.
Yeah, he burned him. Whoever that was for the Ravens.
You guys, this is real. This is real stuff right here. Zach is just reacting as he goes along.
Sorry.
Are you?
Well, no, this is
All right. So Jimmy Ward is spilling the tea in the breakup of his San Francisco time. Basically, the common sense isn't so much the story, but the idea of like, where do you fall on guys being able to give up details within a locker room after they've left?
I just think that the locker room talk should stay in the locker room. I think the
Organizational speak within
like
disagreements and things should stay.
Right.
in-house.
I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago. Justin Fields kind of coming out and kind of throwing the coaches under the bus, kind of not. But I think locker room talk should stay in the locker room. Jimmy Ward come out and say that he didn't want to play that position. He was told he wasn't going to play that. He wanted to be more of the safety. It's kind of like what we heard from the J.C. Jackson stuff of refusing to go in a game even when
That's
the guy came
I guess
out injured.
that ties directly in, right? That's the same kind of thing where it's like refusing to play, like you're letting the locker room spill outward, and I don't know.
And then him and Kyle talked, and then they got in a beef, and then they didn't talk the rest of the year. And then after that, he's gone. But I don't know.
Marshawn's kind of doing the same thing, actually. Now that I think about it, with like the whole Russell Wilson situation,
Yeah,
not being able to get his
he
phone
came
number.
out, and I think it's only because you got players going on players podcasts.
And telling him, you know, me and Petey were never that close, you know.
Right,
I
and
just
then,
played with him.
and like I laughed at Pete Carroll's face on that, and then Pete holds everybody accountable at practice, and all of a sudden one day Russ makes a mistake, and we can't talk to Russ, we can't do this, we can't do that. I just think that like a lot of that stuff should just stay. Like, and I think a lot of it now is because you have players going on players podcasts.
100%.
You got all these ex-players with podcasts, and they're going on. They're not going to come on and tell me and you that. They're going to go on and tell Pat McAfee,
I mean, in a
or
way,
whoever else that.
The deeper dive is a little. It's
Interesting for us, but I
juicy.
just don't. I just as like if I was on that team, I don't. If as a player, I think that you keep that in-house stuff to in-house, and you don't let the media get a whole wind of that, because media likes to take stuff and expand it. They like to blow it up.
Yeah.
So that's my problem. Is the media takes it and just makes it bigger than it could be or should be, and with every story.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, that's personal relationships should stay in-house. That's all personal stuff. You could see both sides objectively. Like, in the situation with Ward, like, sure, you want to have your best players on the field, but playing them out of position, it doesn't always lead to success.
Correct.
A lot of the time.
But if you need somebody to play in a position because somebody's hurt, like as a player, you should be like understanding.
Yeah, you should be willing to step up and take that challenge. And of course, the media, they're gonna spin it one way to get the most clicks and attention. And usually that's in a negative light. So
Correct.
You're not really helping anyone out. As interesting as it could be, just the way that it's used, it just doesn't work. Do you have anything to add on that?
No, I mean,
Fumble. TJ Watt picks it up.
TJ!
Game over,
That's
ladies
the
and
end of
gents.
that. We were wrong on that one.
Lamar Jackson had
Cost him the game.
had
pretty
only
much
51
right there.
yards in the second half.
Not a great game.
Tough.
For
Tough. The drama is always, interesting, I suppose, from the outside looking in. It's different in here. Here's the difference between it's not a facade. These are dudes' lives. These are you're talking on another man's profession, on some things that he only was talking to you about. This isn't. The joke is that the NFL is scripted, right? But this isn't scripted television. This is humans' jobs. These are lives that you can impact by these words that you are potentially letting out. What would happen if something negative blew back on a guy that you gave a story about 6-7 years after the time or whatever? That is the part that I don't like about this. There's no reason to put out mixing personal with professional. You gotta leave that shit alone. But it does add to drama. It adds to storylines. It moves, we're talking about it. So Jimmy Ward wasn't even the most electric guy on any of those Niners defenses. It's not like he was. You guys want to join the pod at all? You guys are just
touchdown. Texans take the lead.
Yeah.
No, we already touched on our Jimmy Ward stuff. You were just going. We were waiting for you to finish up on your stuff to roll right into.
I do appreciate that. Guys, we love our fandom. We love our fandom. What do we got?
I'll start off. So last night we're cleaning the house up. I got a ton of cards.
Shampooing the carpet.
Yep, I got a ton of cards over here to the left. You guys can't see off camera. I was going through them with my son in here, and we were looking at baseball and football cards together. He got my Hero Clicks inside.
They are
Trev
full-blown sterilite.
Big plastic tubs.
I mean, we should almost. I wish we had a camera to show you guys. These are camping tubs. These are things that like you fill full of like cooking ware and things like that. And he's got cards on cards on cards.
So we were looking at those, and then he found my Hero Clicks, and he was going through those. Even Trev was showing him Hero Clicks in the house. But yeah, it was pretty cool last night. Fandom, he's looking at cards and he's looking at Hero Clicks, all the stuff that I was doing as I was a kid. Yeah,
sure.
Trev?
Mine's just real quick. I was going to give an advertisement to Save Mart because they got this Monopoly game going on right now. And, dude, yeah, Heather just brought home
I got a ton of them.
Yeah, she just opened up some. $25 off of Fanatics. I just ordered 3 new hats. Coming on the
Watch
pod.
out for the pod.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, bro, we all know our hat fandom is legit. We could spill over into that real easy again.
I think that maybe one day we need to.
I have like 30 plus hats, bro.
I'll build some shelves behind
us,
and we can just bring all the hats in one day.
They're not all wearable. They're all. Some of them are, very. I will never throw away a hat. I will not throw away a hat. I can't do it. They don't take up.
I have to now.
They don't take up enough space. Well, yeah, you have a woman who tells you that you have to throw it.
If I get a new one,
if I did, I'd probably throw it.
If I get a new one, it's got to go. I have like
right now. I don't have to.
40 hats.
Yeah, no. Right now, I don't have to. They don't take up enough space to me to warrant throw it. I look at them and I love them, and I don't want to throw them away. And like I'm not a hoarder. I throw shit away. Like I keep shit. I just love hats. I fucking love hats. But my fandom in relation to the hat that I have on my head is actually about NBA expansion and about the idea that I have been teased with a new team coming back to Seattle for years now. Some years now, yes. And now is the real window where that opportunity opens. The
100%.
Revisiting of television contracts is what they always say.
2024?
Yes.
At the end?
Yes. So you have 2 years now. We're going into the year before the year it's supposed to happen, which means you have to really set up the infrastructure for this to happen. The whispers and the headlines are Vegas and Seattle.
Correct.
Both cities make a lot of sense. We've put up Climate Pledge Arena up there in the Northwest. That's where the Kraken play. It has been proven to be a state-of-the-art facility. That was the reason why Seattle left in the fucking first place. Was the stadium, the fucking stadium.
Should never lost that team.
Never. Now's the time to get right, NBA, and that's my fandom. Is that I'm not taking no for a fucking answer.
Well, I don't think no.
I don't understand why you would at this point.
But I don't think no is the answer
because the money is there in both cities. You can easily move Memphis over to the East Coast. You can make the West Coast conference. The Western divisions make sense.
I don't think it's no. I think it's when.
Well, I'm sick of being waffled.
I think Seattle and Vegas are getting them. It would be nice on your point because it'd be nice to know just in general as fans.
And you know what?
Vegas is doing like crazy shit down there, dude. They're building a $6 billion infrastructure.
Here's another sidebar fandom within my fandom. Do you think that Oklahoma City should just be gracious enough to give us our fucking history back? I'm dead ass serious. This is a question. I want to know your opinion. I want to hear from you in the chat. This is something big.
I don't think so.
You don't think we get our history back?
I think it's like...
You don't think we get to
it belongs to the owner?
It's like the Browns and the Ravens, how the Browns became the Ravens, and then the new Browns are now...
Don't keep the old Browns?
Yes, you have your old Brown stats.
Right. In the new Browns,
in your
things,
for the
but
you're still not them, because the Ravens are technically them.
No, but what I'm saying though is, did they give their history back though? Are they still the continuation of the Browns? Because the
No.
Raven, no. So
They shouldn't be the continuation.
No, you're the
because
Browns
it's a new
between.
franchise in
You're
a
the
different city.
you're the Supersonics between this year and this year.
right.
And then when you start again, you'll be the Supersonics between this year and this
But
year.
right, but do I get that banner back?
What band?
That the only banner that
Yes,
that
that's a
franchise
sale,
ever
yes.
won. That doesn't stay in OKC. That comes home to Seattle.
Does that hang in OKC?
Absolutely, it
It's
hangs
with
in
the
OKC.
owner.
Right now, we're a shared franchise. That's the problem. Even though they rebranded
no.
and
Then no, you don't because
Okay, I don't want to do this podcast
because you might not
anymore.
be the Seattle Supersonics.
Why couldn't we be that again? Why couldn't we
It
have that
depends on where that
history
name
back?
is. It depends on where that name is.
The new ownership,
I
yeah,
fucking
it could
hate
be a new
that.
Seattle team
God,
completely.
they rebranded
Correct.
immediately after leaving Seattle, though.
But it depends.
The
if that
Hornets
owner-
came back. They
but
were the
it- I know,
Bobcats.
but
They
it-
became the
but
Hornets
it just-
again.
I guess it depends on who owns it.
Trash takes.
Well, it's legal takes, but that's
It is, and that's the problem.
I'm
We had-
with you as it should be. The cities should have the cities.
We were an
Team,
expansion
it's
team.
no matter-
I swear
No,
to
keep going.
God.
No, I'm not going pink. Keep going. Keep going. So, you guys wanted to show the camera, so we're about to finish the Fandom.
Oh, for
All those Tupperwares are
our
baseball
full,
cards.
full
of
baseball cards, y'all. Yeah,
Those
that's
Tuppers.
fucking bonkers, dude.
Okay, I'm gonna set it back down. Did I get you guys in the
A
right
little,
spot?
a little bit
Yeah.
more to you. A little bit more to you. Turn.
There you go.
Okay.
No, that's too much.
Too much.
Okay.
No.
So right there.
Sure.
That's all right. That'll work.
So that was the baseball cards we're talking about. So, take a look for our bets.
I don't know, man.
Well,
Maybe
don't.
we
You
should
can fade us. Fade us.
Yeah, we're
Still take a look. You can
We
fade
need to
us.
look better. We need an introspective trip, you guys. The last couple of fucking weeks, we've been bad. We've missed on a
Maybe
couple
we
of
need to
picks
start
bad.
looking at getting back on track with some overs and unders before.
No,
we-
bullshit. Spreads all the way. I don't like them overs and unders. That's useless. I want to pick the winners.
Desmond Ritter, we were talking about, went 28 for 37 for 329. Is working on a comeback right here. He's going to get a field goal.
Oh, because the Texans.
We're gonna stay here for 2 more seconds because we got actually
got these games coming to an end. Seconds left, under 30 in both games. The
So
Steelers
Desmond
lost
Ritter
one.
just took a knee, right? So they're kicking the field goal. So the Falcons could get the win here. And we're watching here, big hit down the middle. Ravens almost had the big catch, the big hit broke
think
up the
that-
ball.
Did it touch the ground though? He might have still.
No,
he might have landed on.
no,
it did
ball's
touch the
over
ground,
here.
that's all.
So keep an eye out. We got a lot of big games next week for both college and pro football. Just take a look. You never know. It's always good weeks.
Yeah.
Got a hard bunch of games coming up for the Trojans, man. They're about to go through their murderer's row, and that defense hasn't been good enough.
So keep
for
your eye out.
this.
Number 8, Oregon is rolling into UW. That's a huge game of the week.
That's probably
USC
the
Notre
week.
Dame.
That's the
probably-
marquee. That's the marquee at 12:30 Saturday. Make sure you watch it. They put a prime time. They didn't put no late.
Wait,
kickoff.
you're 12:30.
12:30 p.m. Yeah, no, we
think
went
I'm
into
missing a game.
we went into Autzen last year and got a win. So the Ducks should be angry.
And USC at Notre Dame is big game number 2.
God damn, dude! If Notre Dame would have won this weekend, it would have been so much better going into that narrative-wise. Like 2 losses against you guys is different than because you're about to potentially hand them their 3rd loss. But
TJ Watt just got hit from Sportsmanlike on a
we're gonna
sack.
be posting a week 6 pick probably within the next couple of days. We're sorry that we didn't get you the preview, but we didn't want to be bullshitting you on without the outcomes of today.
Falcons for the win.
Chuck,
on
don't
the
mean to
field goal.
cut you off. We got 1 second.
No, we're going for it. I love it. I'm still gonna pitch it. You guys go with the kick live. I'm gonna give everybody the updates on the fact that we're gonna have week 6 upcoming. It's gonna be more morning pods.
Lost sack.
Steelers beat the Ravens 17-10.
Yeah, we might look at moving the pods
Yay.
now that we're getting into winter to Saturdays.
We got a field goal at 2 seconds left.
37 yards, boys and girls. So
Times are gonna change. I think the morning pod hits better, you guys.
I got a pretty good buzz going.
I've felt real nice.
Let's do this
Not even
Saturday
just
morning.
wasn't tired.
buzz. Just I feel good about this
Energy.
one. I
Energy.
love you guys. I want you guys to be more happy
There
with
it
us
goes.
on. It's good.
Falcons just
beat the Texans.
Wow, flag.
Flag.
on the
Oh wow,
play.
flag.
Oh no! What is going
So
on?
that's a 2-point victory. It's a push on the Texans. I still won my pick.
No, you pushed on your pick. You didn't win.
No, +2. That's a
Yeah.
win. +2. They're gonna cover by 2. They're gonna cover
Yeah.
by 2. They play within. That's a win. We hit, boys.
I did not hit on the fucking Ravens.
No.
You guys went over 2. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I win.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Make sure you go check us out on
Yes.
the X on Instagram. We're gonna put up the beers that we had. We're gonna put up our picks when we come to week 6. Absolutely, we got to figure those out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough week to figure out what.
There was some boo-boo matchups. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll upload some middle of the week shit where we talk about the fucking games real quick or
Yeah.
something. That'd be great. Be back for Pod 31.
Later.
Later.